What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web on a happy
hump day
edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. How do we start off this show? As you know them, you love them, you got to have them. Bring the passion, bring our excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we will have my co-host on, Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, talking about what else? Some Bucs breaking news here with Chris Godwin, a Chris Godwin injury update, which we got to today from Leo Haggerty of Amped Up Sports. Of course, we will have him on at 9 o'clock to talk more about this, but we will get into it this hour, see how you're feeling. Also recap some of that preseason game. And then at 9:30, we will have the media icon, Mr. TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network. And as always, we'll take your phone calls, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I'm in a much better mood today. I do apologize for the show the other night. Sometimes that happens, guys. I do apologize for it. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. If I do feel like that, I probably just won't do a show. So if you guys were feeling like I was stressed out, I was angry that I was fighting with the Greek and Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, that the show is coming to an end, First and foremost, this show will never end unless I want it to. And second, that's what family does sometimes. We're like brothers. We fight with each other. So it's all good, if you will. So I definitely want to hear from you guys tonight. Of course, this edition of the Sports Web brought to you by Up the Block Barbershop. Whether you need a haircut, beard trim, eyebrows done, whatever it is, look professional. 4946 Moog Road in Holiday, Florida. You don't have to go far. It's Up the Block Barbershop. Tell them the Rolex reporter Peter Blake sent you, and go see my favorite barber and Mr. Ricky right there. So not only will we talk some Bucs tonight, get your thoughts on this, as Amalie Arena is no more for the Tampa Bay and is now going to be called Benchmark International Arena. So BIA, Benchmark International Arena, not Amalie Arena, not the Ice Palace. And the deal includes $3 million in joint nonprofit contributions to benefit the Tampa Bay community. This is what they had to say. Tyrus O'Neill, almost said Titus O'Neill. It was Tyrus O'Neill. They are somebody who really thinks about investing in the community and giving back and making an impact to the local Tampa Bay community. Benchmark International, all of those things, CEO Tyrus O'Neill, all those things really resonate with who we are, what brand is, and what we want to do in the future. This is going to be a great platform for a business as well when it comes to the investment side of it. Of course, the arena was built in 1996, has gone through multiple name changes over the years, starting off as the Ice Palace in 2002, then the St. Pete Times bought the naming rights, and it became Amalie Arena in 2014. So there you go, Lightning fans out there. What do you think of those developments? Again, we'll have Leo Haggerty on at 9 o'clock. Mike Simzak, who will also cover the Pittsburgh Steelers, give us a little preview of that game. Of course, a preseason game. Of course, let's get to the comments, and then we will get to some of the news of the day when it comes to your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tim says, how you feeling, Peter? Feeling much better at this point. Thanks a lot for caring, guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to tell you something. Like, I love this community. Like, I love the webheads. I love the Tampa Bay sports fan because they know when I'm off. Because I got several text messages saying, what's up with you? You're not the same guy. You're not happy. You're not positive. You're not bringing that same energy. You didn't go over 2 hours like you usually do, which, by the way, we got turnbuckle talk tonight. If you want to talk professional wrestling, I'll try to do my best to keep it under 3 hours so the roommates don't complain and everybody else complains. But you didn't go over 2 hours. You only went 1 hour and 30 minutes. That's how I was feeling that night, honestly. And I do apologize for it once again. So, Tim, thank you very much for caring. You were one of those people that reached out. Raina, thank you for reaching out, and everybody else in general, especially this guy right here.
Acknowledge me.
Mr. Tribal Troll himself, Roger Shu. First, as always, going to be a great show. Like, follow, and subscribe. Of course, like, follow, and subscribe. The Sports Web on YouTube, and friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. By the way, let's talk about this, shall we? The last 28 days, this does not include 90 days. The last 28 days. How many views, ladies and gentlemen, do we have? Is it 120,000? No. Is it 130,000? No. 142,000 views. Boom, baby. I love it. I love it. So keep on liking and subscribing, sharing on Facebook. And of course, we're on Twitter and Instagram Live and LinkedIn Live out there for the professional peeps to see what we do here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. LFG Greekites Unite. And I'm just going to get this out of the way because I know you're going to troll me. So here we go. Sitting says, go Bucs all day long. Go Bucs.
Wait up, little boy. Stop. Wait up.
Go Bucs.
It's exciting.
Go Bucs.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Go Bucs. Love it. Good stuff there. Roger Shue says, make America Greek again. Tarpon Springs for life. Thank you very much for the comment as always. Christopher Cole, evening peeps to you.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Blackie right there. What's up, Pewter Blake? Love it. Let's go out to Jim Sutton right there.
Damn it, Jim. What the hell's the matter with you?
What's good, Sports Web? What's good with you, my friend? Christopher Cole, glad you're doing better. We have all our good days and bad days. And usually the majority of the time, it's usually good days. But just on Monday, I wasn't working so much. It wasn't. Realtor David Zuzman. It's been a long time. First like of the day, go Bucs. Hello, Peter. Hello to you.
Wait up, little boy. Stop. Wait up.
Yes.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. David Zuzman, for tuning in. As always, out there, let's go out to Instagram Live. I think I got shouted out by Gloria. She says, have a good show. I will absolutely do that, sweetheart. Thank you very much for the shout out. All right. So the news of the day, if you will, which is a report from our own Leo Haggerty. Chris Godwin, the wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is expected to start on the PUP list and miss more than 4 weeks, which I think is really key here. Because if you look at it, a lot of Bucs fans would expect him to be back. But this is the reason why, once again, you draft Emeka Egbuka in the first place. You have that insurance policy. You have somebody to step in. And then furthermore, what you hear from these reports, that second surgery, of course, there was a setback. That's the reason why you have the second surgery in the first place. And more than likely, Godwin is going to be gone until possibly late October to early November. So again, all this making sense right now when it comes with what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Jason Licht have done, especially addressing the wide receiving room with going with Egbuka in the first place. And of course, Tez Johnson, who is yet to play in a preseason game. Hopefully he can get back the 7th round pick. And then furthermore, goes back to what happened last year when you lose Evans and you lose Godwin and you have Sterling Shepard and you have Jalen McMillan. And then after that, you really don't have that much. So as we talked about on Saturday night, a room goes from a weakness to a strength. What do you think about this recent report from our own Leo Haggerty of Amped Up Sports? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. On top of that, because again, they can always, right now, it doesn't look like the Bucs want to rush him back. And why would you? Why would you want to rush Godwin back? Because he definitely is an integral part of this offense. And then furthermore, you do have depth here. You do. You don't just have Mike Evans. You have Jalen McMillan. You have Egbuka. You do have Sterling Shepard, who does have success and also has experience in this offense with Baker Mayfield, with chemistry, and also possibly Tez Johnson. And who knows who makes this team? If Ryan Miller continues to play the way he does, then there could be some changes to where what receivers are going to make this team and what receivers are not. So there you go. What do you think, Bucs fans? 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. On top of that, Antoine Winfield has a lower leg injury. Now, we talked to Antoine Winfield Jr. on this show a couple months ago. In fact, I want to go back to that interview really quick because I think it's important. And this is the reason why it's important because first and foremost, we had him on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. But what did he talk about, ladies and gentlemen, going into that interview for him to be one of the top safeties in the game? This is what he had to say here on the Evolution. Enjoy. It's the moment. Go ahead, sit down here, Mr. Antoine Winfield Jr. of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Put those headphones on. Man. Yeah, you got it. You got it. All right. Antoine Winfield Jr., welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. How do you feel about 2025? Lots of excitement in the air at this point, right?
Yeah. You know, I'm always excited to go into another year. It's going to be fun. We got a good team, and I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, I was talking to Tristan yesterday, talking to Levante David, and I've been asking – I asked those players this question. Is there like a bad taste in your mouth from last year? Because that team to me was very talented. They could have beat you guys had an opportunity. Sky was the limit, but unfinished business versus the Commanders, right? This year, you got a bad taste in your mouth from last year.
Yeah. It's tough always losing the playoffs, but it's just something that we look forward to this next year, and all we can do is just change our best and get ready for this next year, and dominate.
Yeah, last year was tough for you. Injury situation. How would you evaluate yourself in last year?
Yeah, definitely some injuries in there. Just got to make sure to stay healthy so I can play in some more games.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Dexter Jackson, former Bucs MVP, he said you could be the best safety, or if you're not the best safety in the league from 2023, do you feel like you're still the best safety in the league? And how can you become, once again, the best safety in the league, in your opinion?
Yeah, for me personally, staying healthy and playing in all the games.
All right, so there you go. That was the point of it. You heard what he said in the interview, right? I kept on trying to grill him about it with Dexter Jackson and his comments. And what did he say? Stay healthy. Unfortunately, that necessarily has not happened at this point. Although it doesn't look like it's a serious injury, it will keep him out for the preseason because according to Todd Bowles, Winfield has got a lower leg injury, adding he's a little sore. And then this came out from Ian Rappaport from the NFL Network. Sounds like it's all eyes on week 1 for Antoine Winfield Jr. Doesn't sound like anything that could keep him off the field for the opener. So there you go. I mean, already an injury, you're kind of concerned, but it's not serious. So you're not looking to play him in the first place. You like to see some of these guys get reps. And I keep on, asking Bucs fans, are you concerned about some of these players not necessarily getting the reps in preseason and also in training camp? Because he's not going to be a part of that joint practice. So you're not going to face Aaron Rodgers. So what's the impact? Do you think this defense and some of these players will have a slow start? Because I think that is one of the biggest keys for this Bucs team going forward is the health of Antoine Winfield Jr. He said it twice in that interview. That's how important it is. So we'll monitor that situation. But according to various reports, it's not a serious situation. But it's definitely important. All right, let's go out to Raina right there. LFG. So Antoine Winfield Jr. not participating in the preseason, looking for week 1. And we know what Winfield Jr. can do. We would know what kind of damage he's been able to cause against the Atlanta Falcons. And what kind of damage you have to cause with the weapons that they have at running back, at wide receiver, at tight end. Kyle Pitts and Drake London and Bijan Robinson, oh my. So yeah, you definitely need him back at 100%. So why take the chance? But again, my question to Bucs fans is, are you concerned with some of these starters not getting those training camp reps and some of those preseason reps? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Roger Shue. Bucs 11 wins, win the division again and out in the first round. I was getting ready to give you kudos here because you said 11 wins, win the division, and then the first round. You're going to have to call in and explain yourself, tribal troll, at this point.
That's good enough to suck right there.
11 wins, you win the division, and you're out in the first round. Why? Why, Roger? Call in. I want to hear from you. Why are you saying this? Abraham also tuning in, sitting on Instagram Live, tuning in, and Miss Kai Royal, which we'll just say she's the queenie here on Instagram Live, watching the evolution of sports talk television. Appreciate you as always. Let's go out to Christopher O'Reilly. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to you.
Oh, yeah.
As we await Harry the Greek to come on. Well, there you go. So, my phone line. You ask for phone calls, you get phone calls. I don't have my phone plugged in because I don't want anybody to hear it. Let's go out to the tribal troll.
Acknowledge me.
Mr. Roger Shue.
Acknowledge me.
Yes, explain yourself at this point. Coming in already,
Okay.
Yes, with this
11
nonsense.
wins.
11 wins.
You win the division.
You win the division. Okay.
And you're out in the first round.
Oh, okay. Why the
should
first
I
round?
believe or predict anything different when all you've done is won the division 4 years in a row? and you can't get any further.
So you don't think they're going to get over the top at this point? So they're not the Philadelphia Eagles. So you could say the same thing about the Philadelphia Eagles last year, right? When they were eliminated by the Bucs.
I'm talking about the last 4 years.
Okay,
all the Bucs have done is won the division 4 years in a row.
Let's equate
They're out
this.
in the first round.
Let's equate this. Let's go ahead and compare and contrast, because that's what we do here on the Evolution.
There's no compare and contrast.
Well, there is.
There
kind of is, because the Philadelphia Eagles were eliminated in the first round by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then people go, "Well, I'm
talking about the Bucs, not the Eagles, Peter.
What's the difference?"
The difference is the Bucs have won the division 40 years in a row,
and so did
they can't get any farther.
And the Eagles were
because of coaching.
And also, okay, so you think it's coaching? So it's coaching on Todd Bowles at this point.
Absolutely.
And why is it coaching on Todd Bowles?
If they do not go farther than the first round this year, Todd Bowles should be fired immediately.
Oh my God, you're going with this nonsense.
4 years.
That's good enough to suck right there.
Come on, man. That's what we're going with on that first round, and he's fired. He's fired this year.
Peter, they've gone 4 years, and all they've done is won a division. They haven't gone any farther.
It's a big
Why
deal.
Why would you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result? That's insanity.
Well, first and foremost, I don't think they're going to do the same thing over and over again. They haven't done the same thing over and over again.
It's been 4 years.
They've won the NFC South. It is tough to win a division in the National Football League. Also,
they're the worst division in football.
You have to win that.
Come on,
you have
Peter.
to win your division. You have to win your division, no matter what, Roger. You have to win it. It doesn't matter about the division. They say that every year. They said that about the NFC East. You have the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles coming out of there. Which, by the way, once again, Bucs 6-1 the last 7 meetings. By the way, going back to the comparison. The Eagles left for dead. By the way, fire your coach and Nick Sirianni. They don't fire their coach. They keep him. And what happens? They win the Super Bowl. So how, by the way, John Gruden, he disagrees with you because he thinks the Bucs are going to win the Super Bowl. Just saying.
John Gruden's an idiot.
Okay. So John Gruden's
He's
an idiot.
In the NFL today in today's game.
So what you've said already is the Bucs are going to win 11 games, win the NFC South, be eliminated in the first round. Todd Bowles is going to be fired. And John Gruden is an idiot. You, my friend, absolutely at this point are on a roll right now.
A bum.
Exactly. Yes, that's what you are. You're a bum. You're a bum for saying that. All right. What else is on your mind? Bum.
You know I'm right.
Yeah. Okay.
4 years straight, winning the division. That's it.
That's it.
Why do you think anything is going to be different this year?
Because they improved.
The last 4 years have showed you that's who they are.
They've improved in a lot of areas, especially defensively. Look at what they've done defensively. Look at them
Peter, it doesn't matter.
Listen,
it's been 4 years.
If you're going to ask me a question, don't be like Gertrude on the phone. That guide to insure.
Oh no! I'm going full Ethel mode.
No, don't do that. Because listen, if you're going to ask me a question, let me answer the question. They've improved the defense with getting Hassan Reddick. Health-wise, it looks like, hopefully, knock on wood, they're going to be healthier with Antoine Winfield Jr., Savasier Dennis coming back there to the linebacking core. And then the offense is intact. And then furthermore, you add a younger wide receiving option in Emeka Egbuka. What do you not like about this team at this point, besides the coaching, Roger Shue?
The injuries are piling up. Unfortunately,
your silence speaks volumes because you just gave me a crickets.
I didn't give you a cricket.
Yeah, you did.
The injuries are piling up. Unfortunately,
the injuries are piling up right now. Okay, what else?
Unfortunately,
what else? The sky is falling, but go ahead.
And no, I didn't say the sky is falling.
No,
I mean hopefully
the injury is piling up right now
for week 1.
Okay, all right. What else?
But,
what else? You're a Chicago Bear fan, by the way. Let me preface that. So how your Bears gonna do this year? How are they gonna do this week with Caleb Williams finally starting? What do you paint his fingers?
He's gonna play
what
probably maybe 4 or 5 series. I don't know. Okay. Maybe the first quarter.
Okay.
I don't know.
What's the record for the Bears this year?
I don't know.
What's the record for the Bears?
Bears are going to win 12 games.
All right, 12 games, so more than the Bucs.
By 1 game, yes.
Okay, man. All right. Appreciate you. Anything else
You
here?
can keep laughing all you want, Peter. I'm going to call you back. I'm going to use my second call.
I appreciate you. You sound like you're tanked already. Goodbye, Roger Shoe. All right. Open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. You know, you ask for phone calls, and then you get a phone call, and of course, it is the tribal troll himself trying to dignify that response of why the Bucs will win 11 games, be eliminated in the first round. Todd Bowles should be fired, and John Gruden is an idiot. There you go. Let's go out to Trevor. Trevor, welcome to the Evolution here on the Happy Hump Day. Go.
Hey, how's it going, Peter?
It's going good, man. After that call, I think I gotta get checked here for what the hell was I thinking asking him to call me. Love you, Roger, but what was that? That's a bunch of nonsense at this point, man.
You said he's a Bears fan?
He's a Bears fan, yes.
Jeez, man, like he knows football, and he's a Bears fan.
He says the Bucs are going to win 11 games. They're going to win an NFC South. They're going to be eliminated in the first round, and they should fire Todd Bowles after that. And gave no other reason besides injuries and Todd Bowles as a coach. They can't make it up.
Yeah, can't make it up, man. I mean, last time I checked, I mean, we were what? Last time we played the Bears, I mean, we kicked their ass, and we were a lesser, in my opinion, we wasn't even as good as we are now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know what he thinks, you know, the Bears are going to do. Why? Because they got Caleb Williams. Oh, whoop-de-doo. You know, he's still unproven, if you ask me.
Very unproven, but he did perform well last year in the situation that he was put in, and he just got his brains beat in with the offensive line they put him behind. But they've improved that offensive line. They do have weapons on that team. I understand they have a new coach. Just a turnaround to 12 wins. That's tough in that division. That is a tough division with the Packers.
Guess he thinks they're going to be the 85 Bears.
I guess so. I think every Bear fan thinks that. Harry the Greek, Travis Faley, all the Bears fans out there, Kanaz, they're all lining up right now, just so excited and thrilled about what's going to happen. But listen, they should be excited because they have made some changes. We'll see. Dennis Allen is a defensive coordinator, may improve their defense. They definitely may give the Packers and Vikings and Lions in that NFC North a run. Definitely may do it, and they have the weapons. So we'll see. But let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you think about this recent report from our own Leo Haggerty that not only Godwin is going to start out on the PUP list, but he may miss more than 4 games? How do you feel about that situation?
Well, I mean, we don't want to rush him back. And I'm good with that. You know what I mean? I love what I'm hearing in camp about Emeka Egbuka. You know, if he is as good as I'm hearing, and, you know, provided, and let's knock on wood, that he remains healthy.
I'll knock on wood right now for you because I can't. I won't knock too loud because Alexander will start barking. He barks at anything and everything. So, but you're exactly right. I think it comes down to health. It's health already. The health situation when it comes to Tristan Wirfs and Chris Godwin. We heard the report from Antoine Winfield Jr. Thank God that's not a serious situation, because it was a serious situation last year. He didn't play up to snuff. He even talked about it in the interview. He said it twice, to stay healthy. When I asked him to be the best safety in the game, how would you be the best safety in the game? Stay healthy. So that is definitely important at the end of the day for him to stay healthy, because we know he's just 2 years removed from being the best safety in the game. And you have to have one of your leaders. He is one of those leaders on the defense. He makes things happen, especially versus the Atlanta Falcons. Ask the Falcons about what Antoine Winfield Jr. and his impact on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is just against that team alone.
Yeah, he should have got another strip. We should have got another touchback last year in the Creamsicle game.
Agree.
Against Kyle Pitts.
Agree.
Like, I was literally at the corner of that end zone. I saw it with my own eyes. Like, I had a front row seat in that game. I was like, that was definitely a
Trevor, can you hold on a sec, man? I'll go back to you in a minute. Stand by.
Gotcha.
Stand by. All right. Lou, Port Richie Lou, stand by. We're going to put you on hold because I told you to call in. I know you got some things to say, so stand by. We're going to finish up with Trevor, and then we'll come out to you, my friend, okay?
Go for it.
All right, my friend. Let me go back out to Trevor here. Trevor, go ahead. Go ahead, Trevor. Trevor, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead, man.
Oh, okay. What was I going to say? Yeah, I was literally at that corner of that end zone when he took the ball out of Kyle Pitts' hand before he.
Yes, if the NFL makes that the game of the week, they have better cameras, which is hogwash. I don't know why you don't have cameras everywhere on that field. You got a
regardless
billion.
If it's the game of the week or not. It's the National Football League. That should just be the standard across every game on Sunday.
It's $1 billion revenue. What are we talking about here? Some sideline cameras? How much do they cost? I'll buy them for you. Jeez.
I know, right? I'm like, I'd pulled out my phone and showed this to the rest of the day.
I mean, we got 8K camera, right? I mean, I got cameras right there. I'll go ahead and lend a camera to the NFL. Jeez.
Yeah. But to go back what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, health. As long as Emeka Egbuka is playing up to what everybody's saying, and then we got I like what I saw out of Jalen McMillian as well. He's kind of forgotten about. He's a talented receiver.
Yes, he is.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I like it. If he's going up against their third best cover guy, I like that matchup. I don't care who we're playing.
I agree.
He's a great route runner. He has good hands. You know what I mean? Like he's a force to be reckoned with. So that's why I'm not too concerned about Chris Godwin rushing back. If we're able to stay healthy at the receiver position, because that's one of our deepest positions this year. I actually like the fact that we'll bring Chris along a little later in the game, because if we're going to make a stretch like we all hope, we want Chris out there in the most meaningful games of the season, and that's November and December.
Correct.
And then knock on wood, definitely January and February. You know what I mean? So that's when I want him. That's when I really want him at his peak.
Correct, Trevor. And you talk about McMillan, what he did in the second half of the year. You feel like he'll definitely be able to carry over that momentum, because the kid has a good head on his shoulders, definitely has something to prove. Seems like he's more comfortable. He talked about it in the NFL just a couple months ago there at the Expo. I love that. I love the fact that the reason why he had so much success was because he felt like he belonged. He got the reps. So that's exactly what you need. So I think that wide receiving room is definitely one of the strengths of this team, which was a weakness last year. What else, Trevor? And then we got to go out to Port Richie Lou here, a great Buccaneer fan. If you know him on Twitter and all social media, he's unbelievable. He loves to bring the passion. So what else is on your mind, Trevor?
Well, and then, and like you said, Antoine Winfield in the defense.
Yeah.
That was an Achilles heel last year. The health of the defense, like we got beat up pretty early.
Big time.
Season.
Big time.
Like Savasier's Dennis, we lost him, what was it, week 2, week 3?
Yep. Elijah Cansey, Vita Vea for a little bit, Antoine Winfield Jr., the other safety, Jordan Whitehead. Yeah.
I call Elijah Cansey, I call him Elijah calf injury Cansey. Because that's what 2 years ago. You know what? If I was Coach Bowles, I wouldn't even allow fucking Elijah Cansey to even practice this during training camp. I'm like, bro, you're exempt for training camp.
Yeah.
If you screw your calf up one more year, I swear to God, I'm gonna pull my damn hair out.
You know what it kind of reminds you of? It kind of reminds you of the first 2 years of Gerald McCoy, right? He comes into the league. I believe he hurts his bicep the first 2 years, and everybody's like, oh my God, he's gonna be a bust. And then he comes out and he's a damn pretty productive defensive tackle for this Bucs team. Vita Vea, same thing, gets hurt the first year, but we think he's a bust. Of course, he's not. So I think Cansey will be, again, knock on wood, be able to stay healthy. And if he's able to, the pressure, what was on film last year was tremendous. And I tell you what eats him alive. Still, having Jaden Daniels, you got to make that tackle. He's thinking about it. I wish I would have asked him at the Expo. Trevor, appreciate the call. Use the second call if you want to, my friend. Don't be a stranger, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, my friend. As always, go Bucs. Let's go ahead and go out to Mr. Port Richie Lou. Port Richie Lou, welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. What is on your mind tonight?
What is up, my brother?
What is up with you?
Oh, man, I'm here, brother. I'm just, you're looking at all these injuries here and there, man. Fortunately, it's nothing, nothing that we have like some major guy that's out for the season,
Right.
Everything I if you got to look at it as positive that it's happened early,
Boom.
You know,
there it is. That is the positive that you take out of this whole thing, Lou, is the fact that it's happened early. It's not happening mid-season. It's not happened during playoff time. Playoffs. It hasn't happened during playoff time. It's happened early season. So you get it out of the way at this point. Of course, you don't want it to be a lingering thing. So rest preseason. Preseason really doesn't matter. It's training camp. You know what you've got with Mike Evans. You know what you've got with Chris Godwin. You know what you've got with Antoine Winfield Jr. and Baker Mayfield. So do they need to see those reps? I don't think so. I'm not concerned with it at all. I was wondering if fans are concerned with missing those preseason reps and those training camp reps. But you just trust what the Bucs are doing at this point. And again, you don't want a lingering injury. Good thing it's happening at the beginning of the year instead of at the end. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. I mean, that's exactly how you got to look at it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to need these guys, you know, in the the back end of the season.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When the games really count.
Right.
And you know, we can bite the bullet right now.
What did you think about the Chris Godwin situation? You want him to rest? Do you want him to come back earlier? It looks like he's going to be out for 4 weeks or more. What did you think about that report from our own Leo Haggerty of Amped Up Sports?
Bro, I think he needs to just take as much time as he needs.
Mm-hmm.
Take as much time as he needs. We got a Buka. You know what I'm saying? The kid's going to go in there and he's playing. He might as well be a Godwin clone. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you heard. That's what you heard throughout the camp. I mean, I've seen it. You've seen it. We've heard it. You saw a little piece of it on Saturday night. Was that impressive or what? The 50-50 ball, the guy, Bridgewater thought he was a tight end and he's a wide receiver. He's so yoked up and he runs like a wide receiver. Of course, he's got the speed. All we've heard about this kid, and it is a Jason-like thing. We continue to go back to it. The players that he drafts are a direct reflection of what this organization has become. It's become strong character, strong culture, and that's exactly what Ibuka is. And it reminds you of Chris Godwin. That's who it reminds you of. Nothing flashy. He's not talking nonsense. He's just going out there, running routes, catching everything. And you feel like that's what he's going to do when he gets on the field, be a professional for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what we're looking at, man.
Yes.
So I'm not even concerned with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're just, you know, I just want to make sure that we go through this whole preseason and we don't add injuries to it, that we come out healthy, you know, especially with this Steeler practice and even the Bills game. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly. You're absolutely right about that. How many wins did you have the Bucs? Because you heard the nonsensical statement from Roger Shue there, the tribal troll, 11 wins, first round out, and fire Todd Bowles and John Gruden is an idiot. But by the way, Gruden, we love what the prediction was. Tampa Bay Buccaneers win the Super Bowl. So how about that from John Gruden, the coach that won Super Bowl 37 for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. So what do you think? What's your mark this year for the Bucs?
Me, I'm thinking 14-3.
Okay.
And I agree with Gruden. Super Bowl, baby. Boat parade.
I love it. Boat parade all day long. Anything else, Lou, that's on your mind tonight, my friend?
Well, my brother, I just, you know, like I said, man, the preseason's here, man. I'm looking forward to the season. And I just want to go out, man, and just make sure that we go out. We fire some motherfucking cannons and we kick that motherfucking ass.
All right, Lou. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot for the call, man. I love the passion. All right.
Be good, my brother. Be good.
Good stuff. He curses. He brings that passion. He literally, he was speaking French. 727-255. 0391 and 727-255-0391. Listen, we're all adults here. Okay. Sometimes cursing does come a little bit with the passion. That's okay. That's okay from Port Richey, Lou. Open phone line 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Facebook stars are open. YouTube super chats. I'm in such a great mood tonight. I don't know what it is. You know, Mondays, it's another Monday, right? What's the song? I'm aging myself here. just another manic Monday. I mean, that's what I feel like, a maniac on Monday getting on this broadcast. And then you go to Wednesday and it's like, damn, we're almost halfway to the week. It's hump day, baby.
Hump day?
Yes, absolutely. All right. Let's go back out to these comments here. Let's see. Bucs will win 9 games and lose the division. Why? Why, Realtor David Zuzman? Give me a call on the phone lines. I want to hear why you think this, because we're putting out predictions tonight. It seems like Roger started that. Again, the questions for the night. How concerned are you about the Chris Godwin injury update? Looks like he's going to miss more than 4 games. Start out in late October, early November. Concerned about that situation. We'll get into the Jason Licht comments on how he goes back. And David, this kind of, I'll go back to you, David, not Sun Devil Dave. We'll get out to Sun Devil Dave in just a moment. Kind of goes back to what you said about Jason Licht. Kind of goes back to a lot of Bucs fans thought about some of the draft picks that Jason Licht tabbed as Tampa Bay Buccaneers and those mistakes. Very interesting comments that I want to get into and definitely want to hear from you. And then the Lightning, they changed the arena today. It's no longer Amalie Arena. It's Benchmark. What do you think of the name change? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Didn't mention the Rays. Because the Rays are just a tease at this point. Monday they win and Tuesday they get shutouts. Against the Oakland Sacramento A's, whatever they call them this week. Just a team that just can't put it together. Put 2 or 3 wins together. It's just sad at this point. So we'll hopefully hear from Harry the Greek, because he'll be patting himself on the back because Curtis Meade got another 2 hits. He let me know off air. Another 2 hits there, even though he's hitting in last place in that lineup, still being productive for the Chicago White Sox.
That's good enough to suck right there.
There you go, Tom. Exactly. It is good enough to suck. All right. Let's see. Bucs wide receiving room is loaded. Thank you for the comment. We should fire Counsell if the Cubs miss the playoffs, says Sun Devil Dave. All right. Again, Zuzman, you got to explain yourself with the 9 wins. Gruden will be coach in 2026. I don't agree with that. I think he'll be a coach somewhere else. I don't think he's going to coach the Bucs. I think he will coach eventually. You saw what happened Monday, where he definitely won the ruling there, where the NFL has to be heard. His case has to be heard in court instead of through an arbitrator. So it'll be interesting how that all plays out. I think Gruden will definitely be a coach in the National Football League. I don't think it's the Bucs. I don't. I think Todd Bowles is here to stay. Extension was put down to Jason Licht. They want, again, the Glazers want to keep the continuity. I know there's Bucs fans out there that will sit there and say, you got to win more than 1 game. I agree with you on that. You definitely got to win more. You got to get past the first round. And I definitely think the team, the talent they have going forward will be able to do that, especially this year. Crazy work, says Vernon. I agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
Virgin Boys there on YouTube. He's talking crap about the Bucs when he's a Bears fan. He is, absolutely.
Yes!
Let's go out to David Zuzman again. He's going to explain himself. Our pass rush still sucks. Very little DL depth. Unproven I almost said Major League Baseball. Middle linebacker, apart from Levante David, lack of depth at safety. That's why we lose the division. Well, let's go ahead and go with this. I definitely think the pass rush, if Hassan Reddick is Hassan Reddick, and we assume 59 sacks, he's going to be Reddick of old. He's a guy that's been able to do it. We'll take the pressure off of everybody else. He'll command those double teams, which will open up spots for Kalijah Cansey and, of course, Yaya Diaby and Vita Vea and players like that. And hopefully Chris Braswell, who didn't see a lot from last night or last Saturday night against the Titans. You hope you will be able to see it, because I definitely think he's a part of that rotation when it comes down to it. Middle linebacker, Savasi Dennis, we saw a small body of work. When he's able to stay healthy, that linebacking core is different. He's better. You hear from Levante David. that linebacking room is a lot better. Even though Walker Jr. is hurt right now, we'll see how long that lasts. But Savasi Dennis, I definitely think, will improve the middle linebacking room. And then safety, Tyke Smith and Antoine Winfield Jr. You've got this kid, J.J. Roberts. You've got Kayvon Merriweather. They've got some safety pieces there. It's not like, Christian Izien can play safety. They've got some safety depth there. That it comes down to, once again, as we let off with the show with Antoine Winfield Jr., it comes down to being healthy. But you say they will lose the division. So you put your name on that. We'll go ahead and come back to that at the end of the year. Bears winning 12 games. Don't do drugs, kids. Oh, that was great.
High five.
Actually, that's a victory.
Victory!
Love it. That is a great comment there. We always got to troll the tribal troll there, Mr. Roger Shue. Let's go out to Sun Devil Dave. Roger, Bears will be lucky if they go 10-7. That is from a Bears fan. Also a Bucs fan there from Sun Devil Dave. Vernon, weak spot for the Bucs or special teams as returner and tight end. Definitely think returner. We're going to see who's going to be. I know there's a lot of Bucs fans out there that cringed the other night when Ibuka was returning punts. I think they just wanted him to fair catch it. I don't expect him to be there on punts, but you're absolutely right. You had the green kid show some flashes there, but you're exactly right. You don't know who the returner is. Is it going to be Sean Tucker? Rashad White looks like, again, he dodged a bullet. So are you going to see Tucker on more special teams, or are you going to see him as the second running back, depending on if White can get healthy from that injury? But I agree with you. And how many years have we talked about, like, punting? Riley Dixon, 3 punts for we're talking about punting here. 3 punts for 49 yards. You'll take that 49-yard average. You will definitely take that. Let me look at the numbers here. Yeah, Riley Dixon, 3 punts, 147 yards, 49-yard average. And then inside the 20, which is important for your defense because the Bucs didn't have that and haven't had that the last couple of years there with their punting situation. So that's big. So that will be taken care of. Tight end, Cade Otton coming back from injury. Payne Durham showed some things. Devin Culp. I don't necessarily think it's a weak spot. It's just, again, Otton has to step up. He has to take his game to the next level. Payne Durham showed some stuff again last year, and Devin Culp could be the surprise if he gets that opportunity. Returner has always been a weak spot for this team. Always. Whether it's a punt returner or a kick returner, it's always been a weak spot. So good stuff there, Vernon. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Mr. David Zuzman. Bears will win 9 games max. Roger Shue says Virginia says it all. I don't know which Virginia you're talking about. Christopher Cole says what he's saying is the Bucs beat the Eagles in the playoffs 2 years ago. That's it right there. Bucs beat the Eagles 2 years ago and eliminated them in the first round and nearly beat the Lions a couple plays away from going to the NFC Championship. And the Lions, of course, they should have won the NFC Championship versus the San Francisco 49ers, but failed to do that. So you fired Campbell last year because Detroit, with their record, they get eliminated in their first round. You fire them. You fire Campbell as a coach because of that. I mean, do you do that? Nobody's talking about that. I mean, but again, they were talking about Nick Sirianni for the Philadelphia Eagles, which again, they were in disarray. But the proof is in the pudding. He got the most out of that Eagle team. And when they got eliminated in the first round, guess what they did? They retooled their team and free agency in the offseason, and guess what? They won the Super Bowl. Even with getting smashed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the regular season. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. That was the point that I was trying to make. That you kept on trying to cut me off. You were asking me a question, and then you were just like cutting me off at that point. Like, I don't understand. Like, I never understood that. Like, I don't understand that about sales. I will never understand that about being on the phone and talking to somebody. They ask you a question, you try to answer it, and then they basically just cut you off. On this show, I ask you a question, I'll let you answer. I won't try to cut you off unless it's nonsense, of course. 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Roger Shu says, agree, realtor. All right. So you agree. You guys agree. Realtor David Zuzman, I want you to call in and tell me why, once again, the Bucs win 9 games. Give me a description of this, and I know you're going to like this, but these comments from Jason Licht, and he talked to Dan Pompey about this from The Athletic. He says the high draft picks who don't make it are the ones who don't work hard. Damn. Jason, you got to love the general manager of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is why if he's not the best in the game, one of the top 3 in the game. They didn't listen to coaching. They don't do the little things you're supposed to do. He says also about Vernon Hargreaves, which a lot of people criticize the move. I know there were Gator fans out there. I know he was a local kid. Hope springs eternal that he was going to come in here and be the lockdown corner. And, of course, he made Rod Toast Jones, if you're an old Buccaneer fan, look like Deion Sanders at this point. Not good. He said he just didn't want to be a part of this team. He was benched by former head coach Bruce Arians for a lack of effort and hustle, and then released by the team shortly after. He was also harsh on Devin White, which if you watch this show, you would know that some of the people that we talked to told you that this was not a surprise, that the effort wasn't there. Namely, J.P. Peterson. I'll give him credit. My partner in crime, who, by the way, once again, tune in for Bucs games after, on the field, live from Raymond James Stadium. As there is nobody out there. It's just us. It's just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us, you and I, and all the webheads after the game. You know, of course, you have to wait 30 to 35 minutes for me to set up. And then once I set up, there it is. There's your post-game edition. There is the evolution of sports talk television. There is the sports web in collaboration with the J.P. Peterson show. And Peterson said this from the very beginning. It's lack of effort. The effort wasn't there. Whether he was injured or not, the effort wasn't there. He didn't want to be here. Remember the cryptic social media post about the Philadelphia Eagles and I was going to look good in green. And by the way, that didn't turn out too well, did it, Tom Brady? No, it didn't.
That's good enough to suck right there.
It wasn't good. Now he's with the Raiders, with John Spytek, taking a shot with him, seeing if it's going to work out. Because besides that, 2019 and 2020, which he was responsible, big time responsibility, especially in that postseason for the Bucs run. Remember the game against the Saints in the dome there, just amazing, played amazing. And you would think that he was able to build off that momentum, and he was never able to capture that moment. Never. So again, he says, demanding a new contract. He says, knowing what I know, he would have been off my board. It was too much about him. He also says this about, in his first series, signed both Anthony Collins, defensive, and Michael Johnson, but neither panned out. Light cites a passion problem for why once these promising signings didn't reach their potential in Tampa Bay. Remember? We were on it was called the Spider's Web at the time. We were talking about how great Anthony Collins could be, how he had the potential, and how defensive end Michael Johnson, who are good friends at Joe Bucs fan, call him the ghost because he was a ghost. And I remember going back and forth with Sean, the sports don, and he said, I don't know, Spider. I don't know if this is going to work out. Because he didn't have the numbers. He's being compared to Simeon Rice. And, of course, every defensive end that's coming to town at that point is being compared to Simeon Rice, which is asinine because nobody's going to be Simeon Rice. Simeon Rice should be a Hall of Famer. And Simeon Rice isn't coming through that door, right? But Michael Johnson at the time was being compared to that. And the production wasn't there with the Bengals. You were just going off of potential. And it didn't work out. And he says a passion problem. You got to have the passion, right? We always say, bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. No passion. He also says about DeSean Jackson, who had his problems, right? John Gruden didn't even draft him. I remember hearing this report from our good friends from Pewter Report and Scott Reynolds. The reason why DeSean Jackson wasn't drafted was because of his attitude. It was never his athletic skill. The guy could run past you. It was a 9 route and goodbye. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night with his speed. It was never the athletic ability. It was the attitude. And that's the reason why you've got to be careful with bringing in a star wide receiver like that has an attitude, because it could affect your locker room. It could affect your young quarterback in a Jameis Winston at the time. It makes sense, right? We've seen it with Josh Allen. You go out, you have Josh Allen. He's a young quarterback. He's putting up numbers. What do you do to elevate his game? You bring in Stephon Diggs. The only problem is eventually Stephon Diggs becomes a cancer. Wasn't too good last year, injured, coming back to the New England Patriots with the young quarterback. Be careful, buyer beware. This is what he had to say about Jackson. The me now would never sign DeSean Jackson. I love that. Like, a lot of people go back and they say, well, Jason Licht made this mistake and made this mistake. And the thing that you like about this general manager, because he is one of the best in the game, is that he will admit to these mistakes. He will get rid of those mistakes. He will cut players. We saw him cut Roberto Aguayo in the second round. We've seen him move on from DeSean Jackson. We've seen him move on from Jameis Winston. We've seen him move on from Chris Baker and guys like that didn't work out, didn't pan out. I love this. We see him move on from Devin White. This is what you got to do. You can't always think that you're right, because there's a lot of general managers that will fall in love with their draft picks to a fault, right? And some people will say, look, Devin White should have been long gone if the effort wasn't there, that they waited too long to keep him on this team. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So I love these. I love these comments from the general manager. The me would never sign DeSean Jackson. I remember the move being made. And you just want to kind of gloss over it as a Bucs fan, right? Because, up and down when it comes to wide receiving signings. Like we're talking about the 50th season. I'm about to go back in the time machine here. You want some Alvin Harper? That didn't necessarily work out. Why? Because he was a 2, not a 1, but he was being paid like a 1. It never worked out with Trent Dilfer at all. Here's another one. You go after Bert Emanuel because you're trying to make that move, right, to the NFC Championship game. Trying to make that move from the Atlanta Falcons. That didn't necessarily work out either, although, Bert does have some history with the Bucs, with the it should have been a catch versus the Rams, right, Tom?
That's good enough to suck right there.
But it didn't necessarily work out. Keyshawn Johnson, the Bucs trade for Keyshawn Johnson. The first year, I believe he has over 100 catches, only 1 touchdown, but they eventually win a Super Bowl. Right? And then, DeSean Jackson. Am I missing some wide receivers? Vincent Jackson, that's a case. That was a good case. That actually worked out for the Bucs. That worked out in their favor.
Oh, yeah.
Keyshawn Johnson, Vincent Jackson, Joe Jurevicius. How about the greatness of Keenan McCardell? It's worked out to a certain degree when it comes to wide receivers. But the problem is when you go out and you get a wide receiver, you got to first make sure that if you're going to pay him like number 1, he's a number 1 wide receiver. Like going back to Harper with Dallas, was he the benefit of that offense with Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin? Of course he was. He was a number 2 guy. Keyshawn Johnson, always a number 1 wide receiver. Keenan McCardell, to me, was a number 1 wide receiver, like 1B on this team. He was a 2, but he played like a 1 in Gruden's office. Joe Jurevicius, there's another wide receiver they got in free agency. You go back to DeSean Jackson, Vincent Jackson, totally different. Like great in the community, great in the locker room for Mike Evans. But going back to DeSean Jackson, cancer. Didn't work out. The chemistry was off. You ruined your locker room. You didn't have that chemistry with Jameis Winston. It most likely ruined his development. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So it's up and down, like free agency. Like it's a tool. It can be used to improve your team. And then if you look back at it, especially with this Bucs history, it can also not necessarily work out for you. All right, let's go out to Christopher Cole here. Bucs get to the NFC Championship game at least. I like it. And then Christopher Cole again. D. White is on the outside looking in to make the Raiders roster. Now you go from top 5 pick? Top 5 overall for Devin White. I believe it's top 5, right? For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And now he's barely going to make the Raiders roster. Does he want to make the roster? Does he want to be a linebacker in this league? Or is it all about Devin White? That's what it comes down to. So I thought the comments were interesting. Again, it just goes back to it. I love to get an interview with Jason Licht. Honestly would. So, all right. We're waiting for our guy, Leo Haggerty, to come in here. We got Mike Simzak, who's going to break down the Pittsburgh Steelers. I see him in the back room, so I'm looking forward to having him on the Evolution from Amped Up Sports. We've had him on here before to talk about the Steelers because All Eyes on Saturday night will be on Aaron Rodgers, Mike Tomlin, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. What are your thoughts on that matchup? What do you want to see? 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. As the Buccaneers arrived to Carnegie Million Campus. And this is what Todd Bowles had to say, and then we'll get out to the legend Leo Haggerty of Amped Up Sports, who had the breaking news of the day when it came, or the injury status situation for Chris Godwin. He says, at times when the situation presents itself, it gives the guys a chance to bond. It still builds chemistry, culture. That way you can get some work done at the same time. He also says practice was good. Of course, they're going into joint practice tomorrow with the Steelers. It isolates us kind of like old school camp when you get away for a little while. The plays were fine. We'll be in pads tomorrow, so today was kind of fast for the liking. The rain held off for us, so it was pretty good. He said, I think it's very important to rep stuff like this. Actually, this is what Jalen McMillan said, and then we'll get out to our guys. I think it's very important to rep stuff like this. Away games during the season are very pivotal for us. That's when we have to capitalize on things. So we're just getting used to traveling together, just doing things outside of the box. All right, let's go out to Mike D. Roche. If Rodgers plays, I want to see him eat some turf. Sacks aplenty. I like what you're saying there, Mr. Mike D. Roche of Canada. Oh, Canada. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
I did my best. All right, let's go out to the legend himself. Former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions, Amped Up Sports, Mr. Leo Haggerty. Here we go.
Book him, Dano.
All right, so Leo Haggerty, we'll start right there with you, my friend, as we're getting ready to bring our guy on here, Mr. Mike Simzak of the Amped Up Sports platform, of course. So let's go out to you. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. As you know a thing or two about the Steelers, my friend. We've had you on here before. Welcome back. How you doing? Happy Wednesday night.
Happy Wednesday night, gentlemen. Always great to be with you. I think that you're getting close to the limit, though. A thing or two. I go with 3.
3? Okay. All right. 3. All right. So Leo Haggerty.
Let me ask you a big $64 question.
64.
With one of these 32 teams, why are they not playing the quarterbacks? I mean, these guys need to get the reps. I don't care if it's preseason, but if you're going to go in and have a guy play one game, it's going to take them 3, 4, 5 games just to get ready. What's your feeling on that?
Yeah, let me ask you, Mike, what is the situation with Aaron Rodgers? What do you think the fan base, are they embracing him there in Pittsburgh?
There's a little bit of trepidation with Aaron Rodgers. We all have seen what he has become over the course of the last few seasons. So there's a lot of trepidation. He had, by all accounts, a pretty decent camp, but I would not expect him to play unless he goes out and says, hey, Coach Tomlin, I really, really want to play. I think I need to. Mike Tomlin has basically hinted that he's not going to see him in the game. The cost benefit for him just isn't there. They don't want to be in that situation that the Jets found themselves in 2 years ago, where he basically gets injured on his first drop back and you're done for the season.
Yeah, you're going to see him in practice more than anything else, Leo and Mike, of course, and that's going to be the challenge at this point. And Leo, I want to go out to you because I know we want to talk Pittsburgh, but I want to shift gears here to Chris Godwin and that story. Can you give us more on that because you broke it here today on the Sports Web, a part of Amped Up Sports?
Well, the biggest thing is my sources tell me that, one, he's not going to be ready to start the season. That is a given. Now, the Bucs have an option on what to do with him. They can put him on the PUP list, the reserve PUP list, because he's got to sit for 4 games. Or they can put him on the injured list, designated to be recalled. So we'll see what they do with that. But my source is telling me that it's going to be a lot longer than 4 games.
And you've said that from your sources, and I want to confirm this and come full screen on this. What you've said from your sources is it could be late October, early November. Why would the Bucs do that? Besides the obvious, you don't want to take a chance or a risk.
Well, they're not going to rush him back. That's for sure, because they want to make sure. Let's be honest. If I want Chris Godwin, I want him in November, December, and January.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rush him back. So I'm going to take my time with him, make sure. And again, the second surgery he had, that put his rehab back a little bit.
Yeah.
They may have been thinking, okay, PUP list 4 games, but it's going to be a lot longer.
Listen, speaking of wide receivers, the Steelers make a big move with DK Metcalf. Mike, what did you think of that move? Does he fit that Steeler mentality? Because kind of raised some eyebrows what the Steelers have done in this offseason. DK Metcalf, Jalen Ramsey. This is not like Steeler. This is not what they usually do. They usually draft guys. DK Metcalf with the Steelers.
I was a little bit surprised that they went that route. They said that they needed a number 2 wide receiver to pair with George Pickens. So they made the big trade. They got DK Metcalf. I look at his overall body of work in the NFL, and it is not what I would expect it to be. Yeah, he's got 6,000 yards over the course of his 6 seasons in the NFL, 48 touchdowns, 438 receptions. But what strikes me the most is he has 3 seasons over 1,000 yards and 3 seasons with over 70 catches, and they don't necessarily always correspond to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a guy who you are paying as one of the top wide receivers in the NFL, but he hasn't ever really even been the number 1 option on his own team. The first couple of years that he was there, it was Tyler Lockett who was the number 1 wide receiver, and then he's suddenly got surpassed by Jackson Smith and Jigba. So you're paying a guy to be a number 1 wide receiver. You're asking him to be a number 1 wide receiver. And Peter, you brought up a couple of cases where we've gone out and we've seen guys get paid as number 1s who aren't necessarily a number 1.
Yeah. And
the problem for the Steelers is that after DK Metcalf, there's not a whole lot there. The supposition is that they're going to have to do something before the start of the season. Right now, their number 2 wide receiver is Calvin Austin III, who could be a legitimate option. The only issue is he's all of 5'9" in cleats.
Well, let me ask you, were you surprised by the George Pickens move? Because he had lots of potential there, somewhat productive, but somewhat of a problem in that locker room. Was the reason why they move on from him and ship him to Dallas is because of the locker room disturbance and lack of consistent production, if you will?
The lack of consistent production, and Mike Tomlin had finally figured that he had enough of it. And Mike Tomlin does not move on from people very easily. We've seen that he's put up with some strong personalities, especially at the wide receiver position, and done it for a while. And one Antonio Brown comes to mind immediately. The one thing that I will say about Mike Tomlin when he makes these moves, especially on offense, I have yet to see him trade away a guy, and it's really come back to bite him. So that probably says a lot about where he sees George Pickens right now. We all thought that they were going to pair Pickens and DK Metcalf, but one bad apple spoils the bunch, and they felt like they needed to move him on.
You know what, Mike? I got to ask you this question: was there ever a chance that Watt was going to walk away, or they were going to trade him? I just think it was a matter of they were waiting for the right time to re-sign him. What's your thoughts?
I mean, there's always a chance that could have happened, but I would have been very, very, very surprised. They need to re-sign him. He's a surefire first ballot, unanimous Hall of Famer. He's one of the linchpins on that defense. And when you have so clearly pushed all your chips to the middle of the table in a go-for-it type of move, then you have to make the move to re-sign him. It is interesting that they've taken care of a lot of guys from outside. They took care of TJ Watt, but you still have Cam Haywood, who's holding in. And he's the longest tenured Steeler. He's the only guy, I believe, on that team that actually still has a Super Bowl ring and has won a playoff game beyond the first round. So they need to get him done sooner rather than later as well.
Do you envision them getting that situation done? We're all with Mike Simzak of Amped Up Sports covering the Pittsburgh Steelers along with the legend himself, Leo Haggerty. I'm your host, Peter Blake. So do you see them getting that Cam Haywood situation up because he is a veteran and because you don't want that distraction, if you will, for that locker room going forward for that team?
The issue with Cam Haywood, the issue with Cam is that he just signed this extension last year. And he's already in his mid-30s. So he's playing at 34 right now. So I would suspect that they find a resolution. I do not believe that it is going to come in the form of a new contract. I think that they'll find a way to put in some more guaranteed money, add in some bonuses, move some things around so that they can elevate his salary without actually giving him a new contract or something that resembles an extension.
You know what, Mike? Is there a tougher division than the AFC North right now in the NFL?
I might say the AFC West, but the AFC North is the black and blue division. That's the Rust Belt division. As far as teams that are going to get after each other, I don't know if there's one where the teams get after each other quite like they do in the AFC North.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough division because you have the Baltimore Ravens, of course, led by Lamar Jackson. Of course, the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow, who a lot of people think could be one of the MVPs. And then the Cleveland Browns, which, Shedeur Sanders goes out with an oblique injury. We know how that can be lingering. Let me ask you, what do you think of the rest of the division? Keep your bias to yourself at this point. Who's the strongest team? Is it the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals, or hell, even the Cleveland Browns?
I think that the Baltimore Ravens, top to bottom, are the best team in that division. And they are probably one of the deeper rosters in the AFC.
Okay.
I think that a lot of their issues are, at this point, mental in the playoffs, and they need to get over that hurdle. We've seen this with other people. It took Peyton Manning beating Tom Brady in the AFC championship that one time after beating him in the regular season. We've seen that happen before. I think they need to be able to do this. When you look at the last two playoff losses that they've had, they've been kind of self-inflicted at the end of the day. I know that we can talk about Lamar Jackson last year and the turnovers in the first half, but let's be honest, you led them back. They were a missed 2-point conversion away from taking that game in Buffalo. and the missed 2-point conversion came down to a dropped Mark Andrews pass, which if you threw that route to him 100 times, he catches it 99.
Right.
He also had that turnover in the second half that he almost never turns the ball over. You go back to 2 years ago when they had the Chiefs. They were down most of that game by 10 points, but for some strange reason, they kept playing like they were trailing by 27, throwing that ball around, forgetting that they had a really good defense that to that point had done a phenomenal job of containing Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. But they abandoned the run game. Todd Monken just lost all sense of where he was with his game plan. They throw the ball around and they end up losing. You go back to the opener last season, they are an Isaiah Likely toenail at the back of the end zone away from beating the Chiefs in Arrowhead. At some point in time, you get the feeling that it's got to break for them. And once they overcome it, they can be really dangerous. But Lamar Jackson has never won more than one playoff game in a season. And if you want to go to the Super Bowl, you have to win at least 2.
It's true.
I'm gonna ask you this. If I'm in Baltimore and I see all the success the Eagles had basically becoming a run-first team with Saquon Barkley, I got Derrick Henry behind Jackson. I'm feeding him the ball 20, 25, 30 times a game just because – and Steve Cartapone, when he was covering the Titans for us, he said, you know what? I said, Steve, when you want to make a tackle on Derrick Henry in the fourth quarter, are you making a business decision? He said, no, you're making a retirement decision. Mike, this guy's a beast. Do you expect to see him become more a part of this offense with what the Eagles did with Barkley last year?
Remember, Leo, Saquon is, number one, a different type of runner than Derrick Henry is. Saquon is a big guy. He's not as big as Derrick, but he's still a pretty big guy. Saquon is also about 4 years younger. So you're not dealing with like 28, 29-year-old Saquon. You got 31-year-old Derrick Henry back there. Number two, Saquon is a better receiver out of the backfield. He also has a little bit more of that breakaway speed, especially on the edge, that Derrick doesn't necessarily have. Derrick's definitely a north-south runner. He's definitely a guy that you don't want to hit, and people, like you said, make retirement decisions when they go to tackle him in the fourth quarter. You also have in Lamar Jackson the NFL's equivalent of Weapon X. The Ravens' offense is at its best when the ball is in his hands and you're allowing him to do what Lamar does, because there are so few people, if any, who can do what Lamar does on a field, who is such a threat with his accuracy and his legs to change a play.
Yeah.
I can see them continuing to give the ball to Derrick Henry. I don't think that you want to give him the ball 31 times a game. I can see them, if they're up, stuffing him like a Christmas turducken, but they are going to pass the ball. That's why you got Zay Flowers. That's why you went out and got DeAndre Hopkins. That's why you re-signed Rashad Bateman. They've got some wide receivers. They're definitely going to put the ball in his hands, in Lamar's hands, and let the Great Eight do Crazy Eight things.
You know what, Peter? Well, I got my thumb in the pie. I need to ask another question here. Mike, Coach Tomlin has never had a losing season with the Steelers. The schedule this year is daunting, to say the least. Is this the year it happens, or is he still going to go 9-8 or better?
Yeah, is he safe?
Well, I think those are two different questions. One, is he safe? Yes. He's in year 19. He's never had a losing season. And the Steelers don't generally get rid of coaches. At least that's been their model over the last half century. That said, 20 years tends to be the time where they start to phase them out. They are looking at a rebuild, and I don't think that they're going to rebuild under Mike Tomlin. I think that he gets this season, and he will not be fired. He may be promoted to something else in the organization. He can leave by his own decision, but they are not going to show him the door. Remember, this is a guy who has had success. This is a guy who's got rings. He may not have been as successful as they would like in the last 10 years with winning playoff games. But like you said, Leo, and like everybody knows, he's closing in on that all-time wins record. He's never had a losing season. Even if they get the New York Jets from last year version of Aaron Rodgers, who I think we can all agree was probably not the greatest version of Aaron Rodgers that we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers' stats from last season are pretty much on par with what the Steelers got from Russell Wilson and Justin Fields throughout the course of the season. So what you're saying, yes, the schedule was daunting. He has had daunting schedules again. If they get just a kind of floor level Aaron Rodgers, we would expect them to be at around the 9-8 mark where they've been perpetually. I think the hope is this year, though, that you don't see them go on the sort of slide that they did last year at the end of the season with Russell Wilson and just completely unravel. So, and they get that playoff win, and they're on to at least the second weekend of the playoffs.
With that being said, Jalen Ramsey, what did you think of that move? Because a lot of people believe his best days are behind him, if you will. Steelers make a trade for him. What did you think of Ramsey to the Steelers?
I think the Ramsey deal was more about getting Jonnu Smith and finally getting that one done. Arthur Smith had really wanted him. He liked the profile that he saw down in Miami. And what it cost them to get Jonnu Smith was essentially Minkah Fitzpatrick, and they were able to get back Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey. I am not 100% sure why you would trade an all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber safety for a cornerback when you have enough of them who's a couple of years older. They say that Ramsey might be able to play some safety. I've yet to see it. He's primarily lined up at cornerback. They're confident in their depth at safety. Their cornerbacks have been great. So it was a bit of a surprising move, but I think it was one that they felt that they needed to make for the offensive side of the ball and the reward for getting Jonnu Smith in there.
Mike, I know you got to get going. You got the first day of school coming up tomorrow, and
not the first day. I just got a long commute.
Where do you think the Steelers finish in terms of they've got a ton of draft picks next year? Think they could be in the Arch Manning Derby with all those draft picks?
Wow.
They have a ton of draft picks, but like I said before, although I do believe that Mike Tomlin is safe, I do believe that he is at or near the end of his tether, and I'm not 100% sure that they are going to spend a first-round top draft pick or trade up to get that sort of player like an Arch Manning with Mike Tomlin still the head coach. If you're going to spend that type of capital, if you're going, especially to trade up to get a guy like Arch Manning, and look, it's not a foregone conclusion that Arch Manning even comes out or that he's the number one. Garrett Nussmeier might have something to say about that one.
Yeah.
But if you're going to get that rookie quarterback, that premium quarterback, and you usually now want to pair him with a head coach. And I don't think that they want to go down the route of getting this young guy in like an Arch Manning when you don't know how much longer Mike Tomlin will be in that job.
And you know what, Mike? You bring up a great point there. When Roethlisberger came in, you knew Tomlin was going to be around. But now he's only probably going to coach another 3, 4, 5 years. And if you're looking for that franchise quarterback, you're looking for 10.
Yeah.
So you don't want to change horses in midstream. So you know what? If they go down that route, I think he won't be shown the door, but I think Mike Tomlin will see the handwriting on the wall. I don't want to go through this again and go through the trials and tribulations of getting a franchise quarterback through their rookie and their sophomore year. Would you agree?
I don't think so either. And I think that is one of the reasons why he has been so slow to draft a rookie quarterback. Yes, I know they picked up Will Howard from Ohio State in the draft, in the later rounds of the draft. He was a day 3 pick. And we will see that some people love Will Howard. Some people are less sold on him. I believe that they want to wait on that and to get in. They've got a good, Omar Khan, they've got a pretty decent general manager. He's done a good job outside of quarterback.
Yeah.
I would say that this team, they've built a contender. Quarterback has been the big issue, especially since they were never able to replace Ben Roethlisberger. I think that's the big question, the big one, Leo. If they had to do it all over again, I think they would have done what the Packers did and what some other teams have done and go out and get that replacement while they still had their starting caliber quarterback, because we knew when Ben was sort of getting towards the end of it, he started talking about retirement. It was a year-to-year deal. That's when they should have gone out and gotten the guy. And now they've just existed for the last 5-6 years in that quarterback netherworld where they're never quite high enough to draft a top flight caliber quarterback. But they've never imploded. But they've also not got that guy, so they've never really been as competitive as they would like to be.
Peter, you get the last one, and then we can get Mike out of here.
Yeah, Mike, what's the ceiling for the Pittsburgh Steelers in your opinion, and what's the worst they could do? Because Leo is talking about worst team in the league. What's the ceiling for the Steelers team in your opinion?
I don't think that Leo thinks they could be the worst team in the league. I think he's saying that they could be in a position where they could use their draft capital to trade up to get Arch Manning if he was there, because I have a hard time seeing them as less than a team contending for the wild card. I think if you want to look at their absolute floor, I still think it's an 8-win team, although I tend to lean more towards the 9. I think if you get a resurgent Aaron Rodgers and he's on his game and everything clicks right, and Arthur Smith has all the firepower that he needs and the secondary is great and everybody stays healthy, this is a 11 or 12 win team.
All right, Mike Simzak of Amped Up Sports. We appreciate the time here on the Evolution, my friend. All right,
gentlemen. Great to talk to you as always.
Yes, sir. He's out of here, so thank you very much for that. Let's come back here. We got TJ Reeves coming on at 9:35, so we got a little bit of time with you here, Mr. Leo Haggerty. I want to get out to these comments. I love the fact of how, I don't know what that is there. I guess that's a background for you in the background. What do you make of these comments from Jason Licht? Knowing what I know now, he would have been off my board talking about Devin White. He also says that Vernon Hargreaves didn't want to be a part of this team. He said he just didn't want to be a part of this team, of course, being a first round pick. Anthony Collins and defensive end Michael Johnson saying they didn't have the passion, if you will. It was a passion problem. And then DeSean Jackson, the me now would never sign DeSean Jackson. We know how talented Jackson has been throughout his career with the Eagles, somewhat with the Bucs, with some other teams, of course. But it's always an attitude problem. What do you think of these comments from Jason Licht?
Tells me why they wanted Ibuka, right? Character means a little bit more to Jason Licht than it does maybe to other people.
Right.
And he's got burned. Let's be honest. He's got burned by some people hanging in there. And I just think right now Are the Bucs a really good team? Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 words, Peter. Quietly under the radar. They are very happy that they're being ignored by all the national media saying it's the Eagles, it's the Lions, may even be the Rams, possibly Minnesota again if J.J. McCarthy comes out. Nobody's talking about the Bucs. And you know what? They're happy about that because there's no noise coming out of one Buck. They're just singularly focused on the Atlanta Falcons. Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned because Antoine Winfield Jr. is hurt, although Ian Rappaport says week 1 is the target. We didn't expect Antoine Winfield Jr. to have any snaps, and Leo, he's there, and now he's back again. We didn't think he was going to get a lot of snaps, but you don't want him to go into the season hurt. We talked to Winfield Jr. just a couple months ago. I asked him what's it going to take to be the best safety in the league. He said it 2 times. It's got to be health. I've got to stay healthy. He knows how important it is. So I'm kind of concerned about that. Rachaad White, it looks like the Bucs dodged the bullet there, but you're going to get an opportunity to see more of Tucker, which is a good thing. They signed a running back this week in Chase McClellan because the other running back on the right could be banged up a little bit. So they're already banged up, and then we already talked about Godwin and Werf. So once again, this is the big thing at the end of the day. It's a war of attrition, real war, when it comes to the injury situation involving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right?
Oh, it always is, Peter. You hope the injury god smiles on you. I mean, I can remember one time with the Eagles, one of their star defensive tackles hurt himself and was out for the season, just coming down the runway and hitting the field at the vet.
Right.
It was like, okay, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You got to be lucky. You got to be lucky because, believe me, you got folks. I encourage you to watch either season 1 or season 2 of The Quarterbacks on Netflix. Listen to the hits these guys are taking.
Yeah.
People say, well, he's injury prone. No, he just gets hit. And that's the problem. You're going to lose defensive backs in droves. It's just because of the nature of the beast. You're trying to make tackles now. These guys are cover people, but now they got to tackle. And, the quarterback is one low hit on his knees away from not being able to play. And, everybody says, well, that's a dirty hit. No, maybe the guy gets blocked and he falls into him. So, it's just, you got to be lucky. You got to prepare yourself. And what I'm seeing with the quarterbacks is how much work they do from Sunday to Sunday just to stay healthy, just to get on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a contact sport. It's a collision sport.
It is a collision sport, and I think the real preseason game is tomorrow with that joint practice. Even though the Bucs are missing some players, yes,
you're hitting the nail on the head. That teams are now putting so much emphasis on these joint practices.
Yeah,
because you know why? The ones can go against ones, and the quarterback's not getting hit.
Yep,
that's the key. So you're seeing the best 11 against the best 11. And your quarterback is going to be protected. You don't have that option in a game.
He is the best in the business, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions, Amped Up Sports. We appreciate the time. Oh, by the way, credentialed for the season with the USF Bulls. We didn't get a chance to announce that on Monday because I was in my mood at that point, but I'm happy once again to be a part of course, USF Sports, Amped Up Sports, and, of course, the evolution of sports talk television. We got you covered on Saturday and Sunday, so the social life is going to be the football life on the weekends on the Sports Web. Leo, we appreciate the time. Once again, my mentor, thank you very much, as always.
Yeah, you know what, folks? If you got an establishment that you think Peter would be good at as a watch party, just send in that name, and Peter will go check it out. Right, Pete?
Absolutely. I'll definitely go check it out. And I'm always on the run here. We're trying to find a USF watch party on the away games because we'll be out there on the home games live from Raymond James Stadium. Leo Haggerty, we appreciate the time here on a Happy Hump Day edition, my friend. All right.
Say hi to Mr. Reeves for me.
We will do that to the media icon. Give me the forehead shot real quick. On that note, he's out of here.
Book him, Dano.
Remember the movie Up? I'm Carl's brother.
Yes, you are. You definitely are, man. You said that to Ruth the Truth the other night. Kagias, we were happy to see her of Sports Talk Florida hanging out also with the sage of Tampa Bay, Mr. Ira Kaufman. Happy birthday to you. What is he? 71 years old. Happy birthday, my friend, as always. Yes.
Take care, buddy.
All right, buddy. There you go. He's out of there. Let's go out to Instagram live, as always. Redhead Rhea. Hey, Peter. How you doing? D and Meg say hi as well. Always love when the ladies watch the evolution of Sports Talk Television. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So thank you for tuning in. Aloha, Peter and Leo. I believe that's our guy right there, Lamar from Oregon. We always love those people that tune in all across the United States, whether it's North Carolina, Texas, Oregon, California, internationally, Costa Rica there, overseas. We love that. There in the UK, the Sports Web is the show to watch for all your Bucs content and, of course, all your sports content. And we got the media icon of the Buccaneer Radio Network, TJ Reeves, coming on here in just a couple minutes. We will go ahead and read some of these comments, and we'll go from there. Mike DeRoche from Canada, once again, keep on fighting the good fight there, my friend. That C word. What's the news on Wirfs? Nothing on Wirfs at this point. Nothing new. Let's see. Definitely, we can definitely take some questions. He's saying we want to take some questions. So we'll open up the phone lines tonight for the media icon. He wants to hear from you Bucs fans out there. 727-255-0391. He just said, give me 25 minutes. So 25 minutes with TJ Reeves. We got you. If you missed the post-game edition, which, listen, I get it. Saturday night, you're out with, the guys and the girls and not watching a preseason post-game show. We got you covered here on the Sports Web, but you should tune in throughout the season in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show, because there is not a show out there that will provide you what we provide you here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. I can guarantee you Facebook stars are open, YouTube super chats. If you love the content, give to the content as the media icon is getting ready to come in here. Sandra Nagel, my beautiful mother, future agent of this show, watching the best sports talk show in the Tampa Bay area, the Sports Web, Amped Up Sports. Leo, go Bucs. I hate to hear about Godwin, though. One of my favorites. The check is in the mail, Mom. Where is Louis? Louis has decided to do his own thing. We appreciate his contributions to the Sports Web. He's moving on and doing the Frozen Pirate podcast. I salute him and wish him good luck in his future endeavors. Let's go out to David Zuzman. I don't see why Tomlin wouldn't stay in Pittsburgh. He makes the team perform well no matter what. They would be stupid to let him go. You're completely correct, because you fire Mike Tomlin, former defensive coach for the Bucs, who Glazers wish that he were in that building and still regret him getting out of that building for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. There would be 31 other teams that would be calling. Ceiling is 12, floor is 8 wins for the Steelers. Carl says Steelers are not a 12-win team this year. Go Bucs, go Bucs. Light would rather draft Boy Scout mediocre losers instead of very talented players that are very free-spirited. That's what. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Chris Godwin is a loser. Mike Evans is a loser. Bucky Irving is a loser. They're high-character guys. It's a good thing. Doesn't mean they're losers. It means they're not going to corrupt your locker room, corrupt your young quarterback, be cancerous like DeSean Jackson was. And we'll get into it with TJ Reeves. And Steelers are a testament to having half the battle figured out. Their defense has historically held its own. Sun Devil Dave will get back to in a moment. I'm going to get TJ Reeves on. Historically held its own. If A-Rod can summon the old magic, they can beat anyone. Without further ado, let's get out to this man right here. As we talked on Saturday late night, Mr. TJ Reeves, of the Buccaneer Radio Network, my friend. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television on a happy hump day as we talk Bucs. And as always, and about the news of the day, my friend. How you doing?
Well, listen, there's a bunch out there, and you're doing a great job of sifting through all of it.
Thank you.
I'm here at your disposal. I am not there yet in Pittsburgh. I will be there later in the weekend for the game, obviously on Saturday night. But the interesting thing is the practice tomorrow with the Steelers, and how much are either one of these coaches going to put their number ones out there on Saturday night versus the practice tomorrow. So much like last week with Tennessee, at least from the Bucs standpoint, you're going to get more out of the practice tomorrow in Pittsburgh. We may see some starters, some, though. We'll find out from Coach Todd Bowles after all this. And some of it has to do with how do they look, obviously, in that practice. And if they don't look good, which you don't hope, but if they don't look good, then guess what that means? You're playing on Saturday night. We need to see more on Saturday night. So there you go.
There you go
with the Steelers.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. And of course, Aaron Rodgers going there. I mean, what did you... I know we're talking Bucs, but what did you make of that move? Because to me, he's seen his best days. Although I've talked to Seneca Wallace, who's played quarterback in the league, and he says maybe he has a little bit left in the tank. So is there, in your opinion, is there some magic with the Steelers?
Okay, so obviously the guy is a Hall of Fame player. We know that. And four-time MVP, Super Bowl champ, tremendous in his prime, tremendous numbers. He's going to be overshadowed forever by playing in the same era with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
Right.
We know that. But tremendous in his own right. That day is gone. I mean, he is at the end. Everybody knows that he is at the end. I say back to you, did we not mention this? I've been putting this out there for the last few weeks, few months. If I say to you, over under number of games that Aaron Rodgers starts and completes and wins. In other words, he started the game, he finished the game, and they win the game. If I put that number at 5.5, Peter Blake says what? You're going to go over or under my criteria. He starts the game. I'm not talking about he starts the game, he doesn't finish, they win with somebody else. I'm not talking about he's injured and banged up and can come in and occasionally play in the fourth quarter for a series or two. I'm talking about number of wins. He starts the game, he ends the game, he wins the game. If I put the number out of the 17-game schedule at 5.5, what would you say?
I would say under.
I would. Most people would say under.
I think it's a disaster. I really do. I want to be positive because I like Mike Tomlin and I like but I think his biggest indictment, and I think you would have to agree on this, is the fact he's never been able to find a quarterback. And this is a desperation move by an organization and by a coach who's trying to keep his job. And I think sometimes that doesn't necessarily always work out.
So not all on him. It's on the Steelers too. And the Steelers kind of went out of character here and signed Rodgers at a little bit of a discount from what the going rate is, but they don't typically do this. So for example, and it's not my job to defend them. I know you're not asking me to. I don't work for the Steelers. I don't cover the Steelers. I live in Tampa. I don't live in Pittsburgh. Weather, winning. So they tried it with Kenny Pickett a couple of years ago. 3 years ago? They drafted him in the first round to groom him to be the quarterback of the future. And he played college ball right there in Pittsburgh at Pitt.
Yeah.
University of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They wanted him to be their Marino 2.0, I guess, because the Steelers didn't grab Dan Marino back in the early 80s. Now back in the dark ages, 40 years ago, 83, right?
Yes.
Nobody else grabbed him either until the Dolphins grabbed him at the end of the
What was the rumor? He was
my point is that the organization, the Steeler organization, was trying to draft and develop the quarterback with Kenny Pickett, and it didn't work due to injury, and they gave up. They traded him to Philadelphia, and Philadelphia has now – I'm trying to remember, did Philadelphia cut him or did Philadelphia deal him to Cleveland? I can't remember which they did. So Pickett's now in Cleveland.
They dealt him to Cleveland, yeah.
My only point with that is they were trying to go with the younger quarterback. They're in win now mode with the money they've spent on TJ Watt, obviously, with the money that they've given to DK Metcalf now to come in from the Seahawks. They're trying to win now with Rodgers. But I think for most, and we'll throw it to the Sports Web audience, again, under the criteria, he starts and completes the game and wins the game. If I set that at 5.5, are you taking under or over? I think most people would be at about 5 or 6 wins. That's why I put the number there. I mean, I don't think it's going to be 2, obviously, and I don't think it's going to be 10. Who out there thinks it's going to be 10? He starts and completes and wins 10 games. Aaron Rodgers, good luck with that after the last couple of years in New York. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a good point. Injured and then coming off just a disastrous year from the Jets last year, even with trading for a Devontae Adams, giving him everything he wants and still not being able to be productive. Let's talk about this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. I want to go to Jason Licht's comments. You've talked to him before. Give me a Jason Licht story, because I appreciate his honesty, especially going back, because we remember, DeSean Jackson. There were some questions about his attitude, but at the time, it seemed like an exciting move. Of course, it didn't work out. Anthony Collins, Michael Johnson. Should have been Michael Jackson, probably would have performed better than Michael Johnson. And then Vernon Hargreaves, and now Devin White. First, give me a Jason Licht story. What is it like to interview him? What's it like to be around him? Because he is so forthcoming. And
he is great to work with. Anybody that was, after getting those victories, coming back home and in his work suit, still doing cannonballs at 9:30, 10:30 at night with his kids out in the family pool, sign me up for that guy to be your GM. He stopped doing that after, several of those cannonballs. And after that season, he's like, I'm not doing this anymore. But that was a fun thing. And did he have some growing pains at the beginning? Sure, he had some growing pains at the beginning. But let's not forget, his first ever draft pick is Mike Evans. When a lot of people, don't revise history, were screaming, Johnny Manziel, take the quarterback. There was even some sentiment in the building to take Johnny Manziel. He took Mike Evans. Let's not forget that early on, Donovan Smith and Ali Marpet turned out to be a dynamic duo on the left side of that offensive line. And he has rebuilt through the draft with names like Vita Vea and Tristan Wirfs and Antoine Winfield. These are all his picks. And then you go get guys in the middle rounds, guys like a Cade Otton, guys like a Zion McCollum. Yes, there's input from the coaching staff, from Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles, but ultimately, Light and his staff are the ones making the moves to go get Bucky Irving in the middle rounds, Yaya Diaby in the middle rounds. So the number of connects, the number of home runs, the number of grand slams far outweighs the strikeouts with a DeSean Jackson in free agency. With some of the draft picks that we've seen that didn't produce, that didn't develop. Now, Devin White is an interesting one, because Devin White was having success early in his career, but two things happened. I think this is obvious. He got so full of himself that he overvalued himself and overplayed his hand and whatever leverage he thought he might have. And the other thing is, teams figured him out. Teams figured out he wasn't doing film study. Teams figured out he wasn't getting any better in pass coverage. They figured out that he was a liability out there on the field in pass coverage. And they started isolating him and exposing him. And that's not the Buccaneers' fault. That's not Jason Licht's fault. That's not Todd Bowles' fault for trying to get through to him on, you've got to be better, and you've got to improve, and you've got to change your study habits and have it translate out onto the field, and it didn't happen. So he is gone, and the vindication of them not giving him the huge contract is he can't stay on another roster. I know he's on the Raiders roster right now, but in talking with a couple of people, he's not likely to make their 53. And if that's the case, that's Buccaneers, Eagles, Houston Texans, and Las Vegas Raiders in a span of 3 football seasons that will have said, not good enough to play for us. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? So
it tells you, TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network, that he doesn't have the same effort. He doesn't have the same passion, if you will, using that Jason Licht word when talking about Anthony Collins and the greatness of Michael, as our guys from Joe Bucks fan would say, Ghost Johnson. Open phone lines if you have a question for the media icon TJ Reeves about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391.
You know, you're great at this. Why don't we give him a prompt while we're at it? Not only the Aaron Rodgers prompt, on how many games does he win? And again, my criteria, I keep repeating it if people are just joining us and saying, what is he talking about? We talked about it for a few minutes. Starts the game, completes the game, and wins the game. How many of them for Aaron Rodgers? Because I could totally see later in the year if he's banged up and hurt that they use him for part of the game and go on to win it, or he comes in late in the game and wins the game. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about starts the game, finishes the game, wins the game. I set it at 5.5. What do you think, Sports Web audience, on that number? And why don't we put this prompt out here? Out of all the young players, Sean Tucker, this Owen Wright, the running back from the other night. Who else? Help me out. Nick Jackson, the linebacker that was making plays. Who else from the other night?
Emeka
Egbuka, but Shiloh Sanders. Who are you watching as a young player, Sports Web audience? Give us some feedback. Give us some questions. Give us some feedback on that. Look at me trying to produce the show on the fly, but I'm here at your disposal. Go ahead.
I love it, media icon. All right, I want to go out to this one. Any truth to the story that DeSean Jackson ran the wrong routes to make
what do you want on the sarcasm meter? Do you want to be like 9 on the sarcasm meter or 10? Do you want 10 on the sarcasm meter? Do you want 7? What do you want? You want 10?
Yeah, give it to me.
Did DeSean Jackson really have to run the wrong routes to have Jameis Winston throwing interceptions? There's the sarcasm meter.
There you go.
I mean, it's pretty well established that there were a lot of guys probably running the right routes, and just the interceptions were like an infection. They weren't going to ever get any better. There were no antibiotics for that. I mean, I go back. It was like the Bizarro world in 2019, and I keep rehearsing this and rehashing this with people, that there were literally like 5 games in a row, 5 in a row, where Jameis threw an interception on the first or the second pass of the game because the defense had figured out he's going to do a jittery, stupid thing if we blitz him or if we fake blitz him, and he's going to throw it right to us right here. And they baited him right into it, literally like 4 or 5 games in a row. The first pass, if not the maximum second pass of the game, they baited him into a pick. And it was just, how much longer can you deal with this? How much longer can you apologize for this? Because if it was ever going to get fixed, Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich, who played at a high level in the league, were going to get it fixed. Nobody's going to get it fixed. Our man Jameis is great to be around. He's fun for the quips and the social media videos, the thing with the Giants and hitting the goalpost to avoid the conditioning drills and all that. You saw that video, right? Doing that at Giants camp. He's great for that.
Yeah.
But playing a 16-game schedule and staying away from throwing 20, 25, 30 interceptions ain't going to happen.
No.
It ain't going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. And I remember, Tristan, we got you online here, so stand by. But I remember doing a show live at Ferg's, and we got the report before the show. And this is on Saturday. This is on the Saturday morning against the Texans. I'll never forget it. We break the news that Ian Rappaport's saying the Bucs are considering signing him to an extension. And I've got people saying, why would they do this? And I'm like, just give it a chance. Give it a chance. And then, of course, the first freaking pass of the game,
yes,
an interception.
That was in that stretch.
Yes.
Where they had gone to London, and the first pass of the game was right to Luke Kuechly, who unfortunately was playing for the Carolina Panthers. And the first pass of that game with the Texans. And there were a couple more. We were playing a game late in the year in Atlanta, and the first pass of the game is right to an Atlanta Falcon right in front of me on the near sideline.
Yes.
And I'm going, this is a dubious, you're getting into rarefied air here, that you're beginning like a 4th game or a 5th game in a row where your first pass is picked off. I mean, so it's a good point that you make on that Texans game. I still remember that. And that was like late in the year.
Yep.
And then who can forget the symmetry of his first pass in a regular season NFL game against the Titans is a pick 6.
Yep.
And the last pass with the Buccaneers is a pick 6 by Deion Jones, who's now with the Bucs, by the Falcons as a walk-off touchdown to end Jameis's career. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And those shows for the Sports Web, they were longer than 3 hours, and most of them were, get rid of Jameis, he turns the ball, and I'm like, just calm down. And I got to a point where you can't defend it anymore. It is what it is. Tristan, what do you got? You got the media icon, Mr. TJ Reeves. What's your question?
What's up?
How you doing, TJ?
We're all good. What do you got, Tristan?
Well, last time I slandered you because about that top 50 list that you had, so I guess we got to go back around the bend, huh?
Uh-oh. Hey, so he didn't like the war. I believe it was Warren Sapp. You thought Warren Sapp was ranked.
I had him like 8th or 9th, right? That's what I have him on my list.
Yeah. What do you say, Tristan?
Where did you have Sapp, Tristan?
Sapp is top 5, no doubt. Him, Lynch, and Brooks do not escape the top 5 under any metric.
All right.
Okay. Why is that?
Specific order, however you do it, preference, whatever it is, may be. But the triplets do not escape the top 5. Rondé, on the other hand, could be a little bit lower. And,
you do realize that Rondé played longer at a higher level for the Buccaneers than Lynch or Sapp. You do realize that, right?
Longer, yes. Higher level, no. Impact, considering that Rondé played for more losing teams than those 3 guys. Kind of shows how important.
Warren Sapp played on about 3 winning teams with the Buccaneers, by the way. But keep going, Tristan. They won in 97. They won in 99. They won in 2000. Hold on. They won in 2001. They won in 2002. 95, 98. 03, they didn't win. He had 8 seasons, 5 winning seasons, 3 losing seasons.
Well, there you go.
All right. I'm just doing that off the top of my head.
Barber had more.
But you know what? That's not what Tristan was ringing in about. Aaron Rodgers, under my premise, over or under 5.5 that he starts, finishes the game, and wins. What say you?
Okay, so I just don't give you my opinion. I give you something based on fact, so it becomes a hypothesis. My hypothesis that Aaron Rodgers is going to be, I would double that. I say the Steelers win at least, I want to say about 10.5 to 11 games.
Wow. I didn't say how many do the Steelers win. I said under my scenario, how many does he start, finish, and complete? You're telling me he's going to win 10 or 11 games, start, finish, and win them?
Only way Aaron Rodgers is coming off the field this year is in the arms of an angel. So let's get on.
Are you going to sing it? Are you going to sing it? Like Sarah McLachlan, right? That was the singer in the 90s. Is he going to sing? If Tristan's going to sing, that may end the show.
Yeah, that probably would end the show. I did just the 2 of us before. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Me and
Thankfully, I was not subjected to that. Tristan, give me a Buccaneer. Give me a Buccaneer that you're watching for Saturday night. I'm curious.
Yes.
Saturday night, who am I watching? I'm watching the pass rush, to be honest with you. I'm watching everybody on the front 7 to see if we can get a pass. Well, let me close out the Aaron Rodgers take, if I may.
All right, please.
Aaron Rodgers, 11 wins, because if you look at Aaron Rodgers with a top 5 defense or a top 10 defense, nothing but magic. Nothing but magic throughout his career. I think Tom is going to pound with that, give him that top 10 defense. If Rodgers can be even a half of what he was in his heyday, look for him to go 11 wins and possibly do a major upset against the Bengals, interdivisional rivals, in the first or second round of the playoffs.
All right.
Buccaneers.
Yes. Go ahead, Tristan. Who are you watching?
Well, if I may, and I hate to be that guy, if I may, I'd like to make a statement over something that I told Peter over the last few years that you may not have been privy to there, TJ. I, for one, for the last 2 years, I said we should trade Chris Godwin. It's looking like we should have traded Chris Godwin. That's all I'm going to say. Got a lot of pushback on there. A lot of people called me, talked about burning down my mother's house and car and so forth.
You realize Chris Godwin was coming off of a season-ending knee injury in 2021, and his trade value was non-existent in 2022. So, I mean, that's part of the argument. So,
all right, Tristan, appreciate the call.
What was Tristan saying about to extend Mike Evans' contract or trade him before he walks away in free agency? Was Tristan saying anything about that? He calls you regularly. Was Tristan on the Mike Evans thing?
He was not on the Mike Evans thing. He liked the Mike Evans thing, but he was saying trade Chris Godwin because you already have a number 1 wide receiver, and you can get a receiver in the draft or in free agency if you want. I love Chris Godwin.
Here's 2 or 3 things. All right.
Yes.
He is a phenomenal locker room guy. Godwin. Mm-hmm. All right. The second thing is all around fantastic player, sacrifices his body blocking the whole bit. Those are things that are tough to find, a complete package. Talented, you were mentioning DeSean Jackson. Talented and fast, locker room guy? Absolutely not. So when you're talking about chemistry, when you're talking about blocking, Bruce Arians raved about Godwin in 99 and 2000 and said unbelievable on sticking his nose and his arse in there to hit people, to hit linebackers, to chip defensive ends at time. So those factor in besides just health, et cetera. So there you go on that on Godwin. All right, what else you got? All
right, Tristan can't call back. I mean, you can use that second call, but not on this segment. Let me go out to this guy. Yes, sir. Mr. Harry the Greek making it here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television with the media.
Look at the Greek in the kitchen. I love it.
Yes. It's just the kitchen.
I'm with you.
Can you believe I have this kitchen? It goes with me everywhere. TJ, Peter, how are you, buddy?
We're great. Cooking with the Greek. The Greek is cooking.
The Greek, buddy. That's what it is.
You are the odds guy. Again, I don't know if you've heard me pontificating, babbling, whatever adjective you want to use. Aaron Rodgers starts, completes, and wins how many games? If I say over under 5.5, are you over that or are you under that? Starts, finishes the game, and the Steelers win the game. What do you say?
All right, repeat that again now.
He starts and finishes the game, not coming in the fourth quarter as Superman with the cape on after he hasn't been playing the whole game. How many games does he start, finish, and win under my scenario? I tab it at 5.5. Give me an over or under. What do you like?
I'm going to have to tell you, I think he might go under, and I'm going to tell you why. Not because I dislike him. It's just his age. He's coming off that gruesome injury. He played last year. I don't know, man. I don't see him ascending. I see him regressing.
Descending.
And this is Pittsburgh. I'm sorry. That's right. Descending. Thank you, Peter.
He said, I don't see him ascending. So that implies that he is descending while we go
Correct.
over the Twins as we speak.
I'm going to say 4 games this year. That's
Hold
what
on,
I'm saying.
4
games.
The Twins as we speak are in the other room working on SAT preparatory stuff for the standardized test for the college. And so that's the kind of crap that they have to go over right now. What does ascending versus descending mean for your academic future? Hopefully this show is ascending and it is not descending about now in this segment. But you say less than 5.5.
I do.
Starting and completing the game and winning the game for Aaron Rodgers.
I really do. I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers might win 8 or 9 ball games this year, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be part of that for the whole season. I just don't.
Well, I don't think so either. And I said also the under on that. We also threw it out there, Bucs fans. If you want to call in, Tristan, I saw you called in, but you save that second call, give somebody else the opportunity. Curtis, that you wanted to call in. What young player are you watching for on Saturday night? Is it Sean Tucker? Is it Shiloh Sanders? Ask and you shall receive. Derek, welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with the media icon, Mr. TJ Reeves, and of course, Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Doing great, buddy. How are you doing? First, let's go with the Aaron Rodgers. How many wins here? Under 5 or under or over?
It's under 5.5.
Under 5.5. Right.
Under or over 5.5 that he starts and completes,
finishes the game, and wins it.
The game.
What do you say, Derek?
I'm going over. I'm going to say I personally think this is going to be the first year that the Steelers, Tomlin specifically, is going to have a losing season. I do believe they're going to have a decent season, but I think they're going to fall short of a 50-50 season. I'm going to say about 7 wins or 7 games.
So you're going to take the over 5.5, but not by much, huh?
Okay.
No.
I
think they're going to have a successful season.
I don't think he understood the question.
No, he's got it. He thinks Rodgers is going to play all year and going to win about 7 games. So he took over 5.5.
Okay.
If I'm reading it correct. All right.
Yep.
Yes.
Interesting, by the way, let's just add this to the discussion. I got the chance to interview Booger McFarland, the Booger McFarland, former #1 pick of the Buccaneers, played on the Super Bowl team with Gruden, later got traded to Indianapolis, played on the Super Bowl team with Indianapolis. Anthony Booger McFarland. Booger now with ESPN and ABC's coverage of college football, but he also sits with Chris Berman on ESPN Plus on the NFL Primetime Show, which is great. So I had Booger on my sports media podcast giving you all the background of how those shows work. They're watching all the TVs. It's fascinating. But I said to him near the end of the conversation, all right, everybody's talking about in the NFL, Mahomes this and that, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, the Eagles with Hurts. Are they going to repeat? Give me a team. And he went right to the Pittsburgh Steelers and said, I think the Steelers are going to contend in the AFC to win the AFC with Mike Tomlin and be in the Super Bowl. Above Josh Allen and the Bills, above Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
Lamar Jackson.
Anybody? Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, and that whole division.
And some guy named Patrick Mahomes.
And Mahomes. He said, watch out for the Pittsburgh Steelers for what it's worth. And he's got loyalty to Tomlin because Tomlin was in the room with those Buccaneer teams for a couple of years there, 01, 02, 03, when Booger was playing for the Buccaneers. But I'm just giving you what his opinion was.
Well, TJ, I got to tell you, that's why I could never be you. This is why I can't go into a media room, because I'm going to hear something and I'm going to look at them and go, what? What?
What did you say?
To be honest,
Booger, did you really just say that they're going to
Right.
what?
All right.
What he believes.
I actually think the Denver Broncos have a better chance to win the AFC than the
Interesting.
Wow.
Why?
That's a good pick there.
Why?
Number one, Sean Payton is a very, very, very credible coach to get the job done. Last year, Drew Lock, I said before the season, if you go back and look at my page on the Plunder, some of my past podcasts last year, I actually called Drew Lock the best rookie quarterback last year.
You mean Bo Nix?
You mean Bo Nix?
Yeah, that's Drew Lock.
Because Drew Lock right now is holding up a Gatorade bottle for somebody.
But Bo Nix turned out. Hey, Bo knew football last year. Bo Nix turned out to be the real deal.
Make me a burger, damn it. In the kitchen.
Solid, and they got some decent weapons on offense. So I'm high on them contending in the AFC West, very much so. And if they have a good enough season, they can contend for the Super Bowl because of Sean Payton and the stability that he brings from the culture he brings with him.
All right.
I mean, that's just my experience being a Bucs fan.
I mean, somebody else brought this up. Think about the AFC West with Andy Reid now with all the Super Bowls and all the success. And you've got Sean Payton, who was the Saints' iconic coach and won a Super Bowl in Denver. You've now got Harbaugh, who played in the league, who had the 49ers in the Super Bowl, who had the Chargers in the playoffs last year in his first season. And then you now add Pete Carroll, oh, by the way, who's had a ton of success. Remember, Pete Carroll had
how fast is he going to come out of the gate?
But I mean, Pete Carroll had New England in the playoffs. People don't remember this in the 90s, long before he was the USC college coach. And then he was the Seattle coach forever and won a Super Bowl. How about coaching in that division? You think that's slightly different than, what is it, Shane Steichen in Indianapolis, Brian Callahan in Tennessee, Liam Cohen, first-year coach in Jacksonville, and D'Amico Ryans in Houston? Is that a little different division in the West than in the South of the AFC?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
All right, question.
All right, Derek.
Question.
Who are you looking forward to seeing on Saturday night for this Bucs team?
Give me a young guy.
Because of the injury to David Walker, and this is from a depth perspective, I need to see Chris Braswell do better. He was really he didn't really accomplish much. He didn't really get close to the quarterback very many times, if at all, last week. And I really need to see him come out and play hard this week.
I like it. You got to start seeing it. You got to start seeing it in year 2.
Got to. I agree.
All right, Derek. Appreciate the call, man. Keep on doing great stuff there with the Plunder. All right.
What did he say? The Plunder podcast? Everybody's got a podcast these days.
Plunder podcast right there.
Right, Plunder.
We're pod guys, okay?
Plunder.
I'll link in the Facebook chat. The Plunder 23.
All right.
There's the plug. I love it. All right.
Plunder 23 right there, Derek. Thanks a lot. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's
who do you got in the comments, Peter Blake? You got anybody in the comments want the young guys or anything, or is it nincompoops and goofs? What do you got?
While Peter's trying to cycle through that, he made a comment about the Denver Broncos. I kind of like that idea, but let me be clear when I say this. I think I'm going to use the word regress. I still think the team's going to play very well, but I do not think that Bo Nix is going to have that kind of season that he had last year. I'm just not a big believer.
All right.
He was really good.
And last year, he was really good.
We'll get back out to the comments in just a
but
moment.
I'm also saying that about a Jaden Daniels, too, by the way, TJ.
We got Jeremy on the line. He's also got a podcast. What's your podcast?
Everybody's got a podcast.
Two flew over the cuckoo's nest.
There we go.
Co-host of the Buccaneers podcast. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate your love on that one.
Oh yeah, man. We always love the Bucs community doing their podcast and doing their thing here on the Evolution. So all right, Aaron Rodgers, guys, go ahead. Over under 5.5 games. He finishes, starts, and wins for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is it over or under for Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers?
What do you think?
I say over, just because the team around itself. They always got a good defense. I think they'll be competitive. Rodgers, depending on, I guess he has some kind of injury going on because they put ice on his calf, I guess. So
he's always got injuries. He needs to go back to the black room or whatever it is.
But I wouldn't count the Steelers out because Mike Tomlin, the guy, he's always got his team over 500. So I say over for sure. That's my opinion.
How many wins?
I say 9 to 10, man.
Wow, 9 to 10. Okay.
I can't leave out their defense. You know what I mean? And the Bengals, they got a great offense, but their defense still stinks.
Okay.
Can their defense really keep them in the division? And Ravens, will Raven themselves. In the playoffs, won't win.
They will Raven themselves. Okay.
And then the Browns are the Browns. We already know about them. I mean, their QB room's already injured all over itself. We can talk about that. But
right.
To me, Pittsburgh, I say they'll finish second in the division. I think the Ravens will win the division.
No love for Cincinnati. No love for Joe Burrow.
He said the defense is not any good.
Okay, I got you.
I mean, we can agree, disagree. They're not even going to pay Trey Hendrickson, the guy who's been one of the top dogs in the in the pass rush. You know what I mean? I mean, that's where I get the owner. I see my.
They can't. How are they going to pay 4 players $100 million? You can't.
Well, no, they can. You're right, but if you're going to pay 2 receivers top dollar, you might as well just trade one of them because defense does help win football games and division.
That offense, I'm telling you, man, I'm not a big Cincinnati Bengal fan, but that offense, TJ, Pete, you're going to have to agree with me. They're going to score a lot of 40-point games.
Oh, yeah, but you got to play some defense, which is what his point is. You got to have somebody rush the quarterback.
That's true.
Some defense.
All right.
So who's the player you're looking for? Who's the young player? It's Jeremy, right? Jeremy, who's the young player you're looking for?
Yes.
Saturday night.
Player on the Bucs, you said?
Yes. Saturday night.
Oof, man. Tough one. There's so many of them out of the last
buffet in front of you. Pick one. It's like being in the Greek's kitchen. Pick something good. Go.
All right. I'll tell you what. I gotta say JJ Roberts. I really
Baklava.
I want to see him out there, against some of the number ones because he's making a lot of plays. Made a lot of noise at training camp.
Right.
He showed up at the first preseason game. I was there live, and I saw what I needed to see, and I want to see another game of him. So give me JJ Roberts.
Love it.
Either safety or nickel, either one. I'll take the depth.
All right, Jeremy, appreciate the call, man. JJ Roberts, he'll get that opportunity because Antoine Winfield Jr. out with an injury. According to Rappaport, will be ready for week 1. Appreciate the call.
When he was saying that, I'm thinking Christian Izzy a couple of years ago, who was on nobody's radar, undrafted, reserve player, and he played his way onto the roster and played his way onto significant playing time as a rookie.
Yep.
So look out that maybe JJ Roberts can be that kind of guy that develops here over the next 2 or 3 weeks, sticks with the team, and can be a contributor. We shall see.
All right, let me go ahead and go out to over 7 wins, says
David. Yep. Okay, I see that.
Mike DeRoche, start to finish with Aaron Rodgers in 4 games.
4 games.
Yes. I'm watching whoever plays the left tackle, Charlie Heck. Of course, we'll see against TJ Watt. How much we'll see of TJ Watt, I think it's more joint practice than preseason game.
Let me say this for the viewer and the Sports Web audience.
Yes.
Charlie Heck, this just into the newsroom, large human being. Because as you know, Peter Blake, I'm not exactly short. The Greek knows this as well. Am I right, Greek?
Correct.
You can call me a lot of things. I mean, you can call me slow. You can call me balding. I mean, there's descriptions that fit. Short ain't one of them. I came up to Charlie Heck's shoulder the other night,
Seriously?
he's every bit of 6'7-ish, 6'8". He is a large. Man. He is a large dude. Now, what kind of feet in pass blocking, etc.? Started 23 games in the NFL, most of those for the 49ers. His dad is a former Bear, right? Andy Heck on the offensive line. So interesting on Charlie Heck.
That was his father?
Yes.
His father was a very, very good offensive lineman.
There you go. So this is Charlie Heck, and we'll see what he can do at left tackle. Interesting one to watch. Anybody else?
Let's see here. How much do you think Bucky will play in the preseason? I'll say I don't think he plays at all. Let alone because why?
Especially after what happened to Rachaad White the other night,
right?
They cannot afford. I mean, he's going to work in the practice tomorrow, and this is me saying this, but they can't afford to have him tweak an ankle, tweak a hamstring, something like that. If Rachaad White is a question mark as well, that's just me saying that. So I don't know how much you're going to see him in Saturday night's game, and I'd be shocked if you see him at all in the final game. But stay tuned.
Yep, stay tuned. All right, Elijah Roberts, we had him interview. In fact, I'll play that interview in just a little bit. But your thoughts on Elijah Roberts there, showing a little bit of pressure on Saturday night. Big guy, 5th-round pick. Possible not only in the middle, he could go from the inside, but also rush from the outside. What are your thoughts on Elijah Roberts?
He's got an opportunity, and obviously there is serious competition there because he's battling the likes of Logan Hall, and a couple of others at down linemen, along with Kalijah Cansey and Vita Vea, just to be part of this team and to be part of the depth. So, yeah, I look forward to it. And you're going to probably see him play a bunch against Pittsburgh. And this is a guy that was a Miami Hurricane before jumping with the NIL to SMU last year in Dallas. This crap is so hard to keep up with. So he goes to Southern Methodist, SMU, which is now in the ACC. Yeah. And he helps them make the ACC championship game because he had like 7 or 8 sacks. And they go to the college football playoff to play Penn State. And Elijah Roberts had a couple of sacks in the playoff game against Drew Aller and Penn State. So let's see if it translates some on Saturday. I like that name. Let's watch Elijah Roberts a little bit. Sorry.
And most pressure in college football, by the way. And we talked about that. We'll play that interview in just a little bit. Jim Melvin, our old friend here. If Godwin does miss significant time this season, is he still young enough to be a factor in 2026 if he's healthy? The report coming out from Leo Haggerty of Amped Up Sports is that not only could he miss the first 4 weeks, but maybe he won't be back until late October, early November, because the Bucs don't want to take the chance of re-aggravating that injury after the second surgery. What do you say, TJ Reeves?
It's a horrific injury, and I don't know. I'm not an orthopedist. I'm just playing one with the Greek and Peter on the sports web. Give the man some time. The premise of the question is he still young enough to contribute in 2026? The answer to that is yes. But clearly you have to prepare for the future. Am I going to say it? You have to prepare for the future without Godwin and Mike Evans down the road. That's why you got Emeka Egbuka. That's the reason why you're going to take a look strongly, probably in the future, at a wide receiver in free agency at a big number. If Evans and Godwin come off your salary cap, that's absolutely what you're going to do in free agency. You have to think constantly, what does this look like in 2027, in 2028? And the Bucs are planning for that with McMillan, Egbuka. I hope Mike Evans plays 5 more years. Do we honestly believe, sitting here on a Wednesday night, that Mike Evans is still playing in 2030, 2031? Maybe. No. I'm not going to say no, but how likely is that? You got to prepare for that somewhere down the road. But to the point about Godwin next year, I think he can be there for next year.
All right. Dave says the Raiders should have gone after Hal instead of Geno Smith.
I was sitting here on a Wednesday night with the Greek and Peter wondering just that, if they should have gone with Sam Howell instead of Geno Smith. That's exactly what I cared about tonight. My sarcasm is dripping. There I am again on the sarcasm meter.
I'd like to jump on your bandwagon before you go to your next question.
Go for it, Harry.
In regards to Chris Godwin, that injury is horrific.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, let's just say he's able to come back October, early November. I think he can make an impact. But TJ, if this young man is not going to be slated to come back until late November, early December, I personally would shelf him. I think they're deep enough and talented enough at the wide receiver position. I'm not going to say they wouldn't miss him. You can't say that about one of the better wide receivers in the National Football League. But I don't think with the money that they've invested in this man that you could take that kind of a chance. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I think it's all on when he can come back, because when he does come back, you still have to get into football shape.
Correct. And be ready.
Yeah.
In the biggest, most important part of the season to be a contributor.
I don't think you want to go the last 3-4 games of the season going, hey, we got you on a pitch count.
I understand. You don't count him out. I'm not saying you are. Don't count Chris Godwin out. Love that guy for all the reasons we've described.
Absolutely.
Peter, I got to get out of here shortly. Anybody else? What else you got on the comments? Anybody else on the calls?
One more from Jim here. Emeka Egbuka is the most talented rookie wide receiver entering this season. It might not show in the stats because of how deep the Bucs are at wide receiver, but in terms of rookies, Egbuka is a man among boys. We've talked about it. You've seen him out there. How impressed are you? Kind of give the Bucs fans, if they haven't seen him, if they haven't heard about him, what you've seen from Egbuka at this point.
Very is the word I would use. Very impressed. I interviewed him after the game the other night on Buccaneers radio. Very well spoken. I came and talked to you and JP on the field afterwards about that. Tremendous catch early on in the game the other night. It's just the beginning. Again, out of the lineage of Marvin Harrison Jr., Garrett Wilson, who am I leaving out? Jackson Smith and Jigba, and there's somebody else I'm leaving out of that group recently. McLaurin, right? Of the Commanders.
Yeah.
This guy's the latest one that looks like he is the real deal Holyfield, that he can make a real contribution for this team, especially with all the other weapons they have. You cannot double everybody out of Evans, out of him, out of McMillan, Godwin, if and when he's ever back, Cade Otton. You can't double all those guys. A Rashad or a Bucky out of the backfield. Good luck. And Egbuka looks like it with the route running, the body. Again, we've seen it in training camp practices and for one preseason game. And there probably will be a little learning curve, and welcome to the NFL, because they know how to scout you and roll a safety over to you and be physical with you. Let's see how he responds. Let's see. But there's a lot to be excited about with Egbuka. Love it.
Is it a Mecca or a Mika? Can you please
Mecca?
clarify?
And they nickname him Mech. They call him Mech.
Mecca, Egbuka, and Josh Grizzard from
Grizzard, very good.
Yes,
not Grizzard or Gizzard.
Yes,
correct. Anything else I can help with? We've worked on ascending and descending.
Yes, and F1, 570 million people have watched that.
$570 million at the box office.
Yes.
Is it baklava or tiropitas or is it or spanikopita? Which one is it?
Yeah, the Greek. But back to the F1 movie with Brad Pitt. Phenomenal. And Peter, you gave it the greatest testimonial because you said, I'm not even a racing fan, but it locks you in on that movie.
Yep.
We got to go see that thing again in IMAX. I don't think it's in the theaters anymore in IMAX. We got to see that thing in IMAX.
We got to invite Harry, and we got to invite
go.
Ray, and we got to invite Travis Bailey.
Got to go see it with the seat shaking and the sound vibrating the walls, and you feel like you're going to wreck in an F1 car. But the story is a tremendous. It's well written. He's really good and pulls it off as an F1 driver. And that is the highest grossing sports movie ever.
Stop.
To do F1 movie with Brad Pitt. Much to the Greek chagrin, it's not Caddyshack. It's not.
Hey, I got a trivia question for the great TJ Reeves.
Please lay it on me.
You do remember the original movie, The Bad News Bears?
Yes.
Okay. On their uniforms, what was written on the back of it?
Well, that's
the reason why. Hold on, because the reason why, because I know, because I was just talking. Chico's bail bonds.
Yes.
Oh my God, I didn't think that. Someone was talking about that today, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" That's right. It was Chico's bail bonds.
Chico's bail bonds.
Because I just got uniforms.
One of the kids' dads was the bail bondsman, and it was to advertise for getting people out of jail.
Well, what's funny is one of the shops that I operate have these uniforms, and they're all black, and it's got the logo sitting on there. And they're like, "Oh man, it's really nice to get them." I says, "Yeah, the new ones are coming." And he goes, "Why?" And I says, "Because the new ones are going to have it's a sponsor on the back of it." Who? And I says, "Chico's bail bonds."
And they didn't get the joke.
They didn't get it at all, and I keep forgetting.
All right, but wait a minute. I'm going to hit you with a trivia question. Walter Matthau is the original coach, and it's a legendary, funny spoof Little League Baseball movie. Tremendous. Walter Matthau was doing what in the movie as an occupation while he was the baseball coach?
He was a pool cleaner.
Yes, he was. Scored the great.
Boom! He was a pool cleaner.
He won the pools. Tatum O'Neal, later the great child star, sexy actress, the whole bit, Mary John McEnroe.
Gorgeous.
They get her to play the pitcher. What was she doing when Walter Matthau came and found her? Do you remember what she was doing to convince her to come pitch Little League?
Was she knitting or something like
She
that?
wasn't knitting. It's
Hold on.
Does Peter know?
She was doing something, selling lemonade or something. I don't know.
No, she was not selling lemonade. She was selling like maps to
Star
Yes,
Maps tours.
yes, Star
The
Maps,
Hollywood
Star Tours
Hall.
and Maps. Yes, that's pretty good.
And so she's sitting there, and he's trying to convince her to come pitch for the Little League team because she's a good pitcher. And she's cursing at him because I guess he used to date her mother. Man, we've digressed on the sports web or something.
No,
something like that.
This is good.
She was mad at him, and she said, get out of my face, Buttermaker. And she's cursing at him.
Yep. I'll never forget it. And who was your favorite on that movie?
The kid playing shortstop, Tanner, because he kept getting into it with the bigger kids.
Yeah. What do you mean?
You
I'll kick your ass.
You Yankees.
You get 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate?
God.
Well, listen.
You've digressed, but yes, very nice on the Bad News Bears trivia.
Yes, Jackie Earl Haley, of course, eventually played who? As super villain?
I don't know.
Freddy Krueger.
Did he really?
Yes,
no,
he did.
I don't think that was the same guy. I think that we might have a different actor on that one.
You think?
But
so? I'm pretty sure it was him.
All right, look it up.
TJ, I didn't know this. This has got to be the funniest comment of the night.
What do we got?
No, that we're going to be in the Ring of Honor.
Yeah, how?
I think ultimately.
Is that the Canadian Ring of Honor? Because he's from a city called Regina in Canada.
We love Mike DeRoche. Here is the confirmation here. He played Freddy Krueger in 2010's remake of the Nightmare.
In the remake. Jack
yes. And also,
why do I know the name Robert Englund was the original Freddy Krueger back in the 80s? And those were some serious horror movies because Robert Englund never did anything before or anything after playing Freddy on Nightmare on Elm Street. But
correct.
There you go.
Remake, and then he also started.
Here's another SAT word, digressed to such an extent that I am going to have to depart, I believe, here on the.
You have a plethora of words in your vocabulary this evening.
Thank you. I am off to Pittsburgh, the Steel City. By the way, they call them the Stillers, as we keep talking about with an I, not the EE. They call them the Stillers. We're going to see the Stillers and the Bucs. That's what they say up there. This weekend, whatever amount of starters of Stillers and Bucs. And I will report back at a later date on the sports web with you chaps.
Sounds good.
Gentlemen?
We'll be here.
It's always fun having you on.
Media icon right there, Mr. TJ Reeves.
Chico's bail bonds forever. You boys be well.
I hope you clip that, okay? Just for TJ, you got to clip that one and put it out.
All right, we will definitely have.
Bail bonds.
Well, hold on. Let's go to this one right there. There we go. Curtis, you called in. Let me go ahead and go out to Curtis, and then we will continue to talk about your Tampa Bay.
And we even call our callers back. I like this.
Yes, we do call them back because I don't want it. Yes. Put it on the board. Yes.
Hawk Harrelson, baby.
I love it. Yeah, I watched WGN when I was a kid. It wasn't just the Cubs and Steve Stone and Harry Carey. It was Hawk Harrelson.
Chocolate Thunder Hotline. How may I help you?
Chocolate Thunder. There you go. What you going to sexual chocolate with Mark Henry there with that gimmick? What's going on, Mr. Curtis?
Let your soul blow.
Sexual chocolate.
Listen, they ruined Mark Henry's gimmick when they put him with Mae Young when she was like 185 years old and she had a hand on the broadcast. That was terrible.
I gotta say this. Let me say this.
Talk about it.
I'm not going to talk about that because honestly, to me, That was disgusting. But anyway.
Hold on. Before you go on with this, I just got corrected. He's not from Regina. He's from Winnipeg. And Mike, I want to know yes or no. Have you ever heard of a horse track called Assiniboia? And if you have heard of a horse track called Assiniboia, what was it named after? And no Googling allowed.
No Googling allowed. Mike DeRoche out there.
It's Assiniboia Downs.
Oh, Canada. All right, Curtis, go ahead.
So listen, the whole market.
No, wait a minute. That's not Winnipeg. It's Manitoba. Man, I'm an idiot. Sorry about that, Dave.
Are you from Saskatchewan, eh?
Hey, that's Saskatchewan. Hey,
Saskatchewan, eh?
Hey, God bless you.
But that whole Mae Young, Mark Henry thing. First of all, I wouldn't touch Mae Young with another guy's package.
Supposedly, Mae Young was, when she was younger, because they did the Queen of Wrestling. What was it called? Queen of Wrestling movie? I don't think it's called that. What was it called?
Glow?
No. They just did a movie about her, and she was in it. I'm trying to think of what the wrestling movie was called.
I don't know.
You're high at this point.
I'm currently on drugs. I had a small surgery today, so I was heavily medicated today.
Puff.
Well,
pass.
Listen, I went
Queen of the Ring. That's what it was called.
I went to the hospital this morning.
Oh no!
To have a small surgery on my wrist.
Okay.
And I went in there, and I had smoked like 3 joints before I went in there, and
Jesus.
I was high as a giraffe's ass. Okay.
Well, you sound like some of the salespeople. See, they got it right. They come in and they smell like Christmas trees.
Right hand or left hand?
Huh?
Was it your right hand or your left hand?
I use both.
Okay, just checking.
You got big forearms, right? But it goes back to the salespeople.
I could always ask them, "Hey, man, boxers or briefs?" And my boy over there would go, depends.
Depends. There you go. Depends. Yeah,
absolutely. When
5.5. Aaron Rodgers over or under 5.5 wins or under that he not only finishes the game, wins the game. What do you think with the Pittsburgh Steelers
this weekend?
No, I mean not this weekend, but for the whole season, because we put that out there with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I'm gonna give him over 5.5.
Okay, well, how many?
Because I feel like that defense.
No, he's got to start and finish the game. He's going to have to be complete games.
Feel like either way, I think he'll finish the games, but I feel like he'll finish the season. I mean, we all know that Pittsburgh defense always carries that team,
right?
No matter what. Mike Tomlin, say what you want about him, whatever, it doesn't matter. This guy's a freaking winner.
Yep.
Oh, he's one of the best coaches ever. I love him.
Yeah, listen,
I just hate his quarterback.
You can't pick
Harry.
one.
Yes,
don't
sir.
hate me for what I'm about to say. I love you forever.
Where's the dump button? You got a dump button?
It's about your Bears, and I'm going to tell you how angry I was about the Bears.
Well, by the way, I want to go back to this. I want to preface this that the tribal troll tonight put down the gauntlet on the Bucs. He said they are 11 wins. They're going to be eliminated in the first round. They're going to win an NFC South, 11 wins, going to be eliminated. Todd Bowles is going to be fired. John Gruden is an idiot, and the Bears are going to win 12 games this year. That's what Roger Shue says.
I don't. Okay, well, you know,
opinions.
Did you say the tribal troll?
The tribal troll, yes, sir. That's what I said.
He sounds like the tribal D-bag. Okay, I don't care about all that. Okay, I would love to see the.
So what were you going to say about the Bears? Let me hear this, Curtis.
Yeah, let me hear it.
Harry, let me ask you a question, Harry, because I know you have been a long life, bro.
Here it comes, man. Here it comes. Uh-oh.
Can I react from a fan's perspective or from a person from objective?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I can't do it the fan perspective.
And I know that he had a bad season when they let him go or whatever it was. I don't even think he had a bad season.
Justin Fields?
The worst decision that the Bears ever did was they let Lovie Smith go.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, Lovey's a dear friend of mine.
That is the worst.
Oh yeah, you could never get me to say anything negative about Coach Lovey, ever.
I was so disappointed when the Bucs let him go.
Yeah, he got a raw deal. He got railroaded here. That's public. I'm able to repeat that. He got railroaded by a particular coach that was made to let him go that was not succeeding. Peter, can you help me here? What was his name?
The particular coach that let Lovie Smith go?
No, the particular coach that got Lovie Smith fired. I talked to you all about this in depth. I'm trying to remember what his name.
Bucs or what?
There was a particular coach that was in the GM's ear.
I feel like when the Bucs let Lovie Smith go, they fell for the banana in the tailpipe. That's how I really feel.
Okay.
Well, he had that same reaction in Chicago. You're a 10-win team going into the playoffs and you get fired. Really?
I mean, the only other thing that was for me in NFL history. And
Chicago, you win 10 games, you get hookers, all the food, drinks. You never have to pay for anything in life.
The only thing that was worse than that to me is in NFL history was, I believe, I don't remember what year it was. Marty Schottenheimer for the Chargers went 14-2, and they released it.
It was what was that?
Because he never won a game in the playoffs because he couldn't win in the playoffs.
And guess what? I understand that.
And that's the same thing that's going to happen to Mike Tomlin, unfortunately. That right there, I'm glad you brought that up. If Mike Tomlin doesn't make the playoffs, or if he does make the playoffs and it's another first-round exit, say goodbye to the coach. It's a shame because he's a great coach. So was Schottenheimer.
2006, by the way, and he was fired in January of 2007.
That was and you know what's crazy?
Yeah,
Derek Cutter. By the way, that's the guy's name, Derek Cutter.
Oh, Dirk Cutter.
Dirk Cutter.
Well, listen, the Bucs, they hired him in the first place because they thought he was going to San Francisco and Miami, and of course they didn't want to ruin.
They wanted to keep him for Jameis Winston.
Correct, and it didn't work out. I mean,
by the way, Lovie Smith was the reason why Jameis Winston came here.
That is correct.
He absolutely was enamored with that young man's talents.
Yep, he was.
But I will tell you what he told me.
I think Lovie would have protected Jameis. Because Lovie was going to put a defense together that was going to win games.
Right.
And he didn't have to put it on Jameis.
Remember, they were, 6-6 in Lovie's first year.
Yep.
And Quan Alexander goes out and they lose the next 4. Not saying, but that was a major loss at the time because Alexander was playing at a top level.
He was playing at a high level.
At a high level. Yes, he was. Absolutely. So... All right.
I think, and I remember that Marty Schottenheimer year. I think that was the year LaDainian Tomlinson won the MVP.
It was 2006. It was 2006. They fired him in 2007 because he had supposedly it was dysfunctional between the general manager, AJ Smith, and Spanos at the time. But guy goes 14-2.
I'm gonna give you a early prediction, Harry, because I know you're my prediction guy and I love you to death.
Okay.
If Cincinnati doesn't do something this year, that guy is gone.
The coach?
Zach Taylor?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
It's not his fault. You're probably right, but it's not his fault. They just can't put a defense together, and they don't want to pay anybody in the defense.
Well, and then Burrow can't stay healthy when he stays healthy.
That's because they can't put together an offensive line. It's not even close. Joe Burrow.
You give your star players on offense all this money, but you don't pay anybody else.
Right.
Bro, let me be really clear here. Joe Burrow, and it's not even close, is the best quarterback when healthy in the National Football League.
Oh,
the end.
I
my
agree
God,
with
I haven't seen a talent like that. And I'm going to go out and say it since Joe Montana. And the problem is they can't put a line in front of this guy.
If he's Joe Montana,
you're not saying anything that I don't believe.
Well, guys, can we all agree? Can we all agree that if Joe Burrow is the next Joe Montana, then the guy who's John Elway is Josh Allen? Clearly, Josh Allen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you know what the difference between those two organizations are, Peter?
What's that?
One believes in protecting the quarterback, the other one doesn't.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And they just signed James Cook, by the way, which is who knows? Maybe Josh Allen can get over the hump. I mean, this has been.
I'm gonna say this though, and you know what, Peter?
Yeah.
Peter, Harry, you know I love you guys to death. I think Mike.
Peter, share the show to my FB page, please. It won't let me do it from yours. I've been trying 20 times.
I got you.
I think Mike Vrabel is going to shock the world in New England this year.
Wow.
Mike Vrabel?
Mike Vrabel, absolutely.
Okay.
Because I'm going to tell you something. That Tennessee team, when he was coaching in Tennessee, before those injuries and stuff piled up on him, they had Ryan. What was that? Ryan Tannehill, old ass.
Sure.
He was coaching the hell out of those players. You didn't want to play Tennessee, especially with Derrick Henry running downhill. And I'm going to tell you the one thing about Mike Vrabel is he's going to run the damn ball. He's going to run the damn ball.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Period.
Definitely.
So I really think, and this is going to be a very interesting NFL season. Harry, I love Chicago for that offensive line. And what is their running back? David Montgomery. David Montgomery is going to have a breakout year this year.
Montgomery is with the Detroit Lions now for 3 years.
He's already a good back. But
but it's DeAndre Swift as their running back with Roshan Johnson.
Montgomery.
Yeah, it's Swift.
I don't know, man. I'm stoned, man. Jesus.
But what I do have for you, since you did have his name and you did have it, I've got a David Montgomery Chicago autographed jersey that's yours.
Really?
Sure, absolutely. You can have it.
Okay.
Seriously?
I loved it.
You're gonna give it to him?
I think
he can have it.
That's nice of you.
Why not? He can have it. You know what I won't give away though is my Steve McMichael autographed Super Bowl 20.
Which, by the way, not only was a great player for the Chicago Bears, but the first broadcaster for Monday Night Nitro in 1995 with none other than Eric Bischoff. So another wrestling reference.
I'll tell you what, Harry, when me, you, and Peter finally get together.
Yes. Can we please get together?
Are you still up at the same place?
Where?
On Tampa Road?
No, he's in no place really.
I was at the one in. Do you know they just laid us all off?
Are you serious, Kurt?
What? Seriously?
Yeah, they closed the store in Trinity. They're only open in Oldsmar now.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
But it's fine. You know what? God has another plan for me.
Sure, he does. Make sure you drop me a text message. Get it from Peter, my phone number. I might have something for you.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go, Curtis. And we'll have to have a sports web meetup for all our web heads.
Yeah,
you know,
when we get together, Harry, just for you, I'm going to wear my favorite Bears jersey ever.
Which one is it?
That is Mr. Gale Sayers.
Ooh.
Wow, the Kansas Comet.
The Kansas Comet. You give me 6 inches of daylight.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. And I know people love Walter Payton.
Yeah.
And, all these
greatest
guys.
Football player ever. I didn't say running back, but greatest football player ever. Don't say it. Nobody
Jerry
ever.
Rice.
Oh, no, man.
Jerry Rice, brother.
Walter Payton. Jerry Rice never threw touchdown passes. Walter Payton had 7 out of 10 pass completions, and I believe 7 of them, and I could be wrong, were touchdown passes. And,
you know what? I was talking to another guy today. He's
unbelievable.
Man. So I was laughing at his face because he's a Cowboys fan. I'm like, so wait a minute, you're 27, you're a Cowboys fan, and you want to talk to me about anything? I'm like, dude, you haven't seen your team been relevant at all. You weren't even born the last time they were relevant. Get out of my face. But anyway, I'm kind of losing a train of thought because that's the medicine kicking my ass. However,
yes.
Anyway.
Favorite Buck you want to see, but young Buck you want to see, and we'll let you go on that. Who's a young Buck you want to see on Saturday night?
Actually, I would love to see what was that kid that was running the ball in the second half?
Owen Wright. Owen Wright.
Yes.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
That kid, I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
He put his foot in the ground and he was gone. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
So, well, let me tell you guys this before I let you go. So the Cowboys fan.
This reminds me of one of the movies with the drunk uncle, man. Curtis is bad to the bone. Back in the day.
He's like Emmitt Smith is the greatest running back in NFL history. I said, dude. Let me tell you something. I said, I am 340 pounds. I could have ran behind that damn offensive line. I said, let me tell you another thing. If Barry Sanders would have had the Dallas Cowboys offensive line,
oh my God,
that rushing record would be unthinkable. unthinkable.
Yes.
Let me give you one stat before you go.
Talk to me, brother.
The first 10 years that Walter Payton played in a Chicago Bear uniform, and the only uniform that he ever played in, and it was an offense with no quarterback in it, literally for the first 7 years.
Correct.
And the defenses all knew that it was Walter Payton was going to get the ball up to 35 times a game. They even dictated where they were going to go with the ball. They still couldn't stop them. But here's the most intriguing stat. Not one offensive lineman went to the Pro Bowl for him in his first 10 years in the league. Think about that and just swirl that around and taste it. That's why I said as not running back.
How many Pro Bowl offensive linemen did Barry Sanders have?
Well, you had 0. You really have nobody.
0. Yeah, but in a totally different era.
Is Lomas Brown there?
No, Lomas Brown was a Pro Bowler. A perennial Pro Bowler.
I know I gotta let somebody else call or whatever, but I'm gonna say this to me, and I tell people all the time. I have a top 5 list of running backs all the time.
Okay.
People hate it, but I'm gonna tell you, and this is no particular order. I don't really care. It's going to be Jim Brown.
Okay.
It's going to be Barry Sanders. It's going to be Walter Payton. So a lot of people might not agree with this, but I love Adrian Peterson. I think Adrian Peterson could have played in any era. I really do.
Could have been.
That's not even questioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Harry, I'm going old school for you because this is honestly probably one of my favorite running backs ever.
By the way, 6-time Pro Bowler with the Lions, Lomas Brown. So there you go. Yes.
Gale Sayers?
I am the biggest Earl Campbell fan in the world.
You know what we used to call him when I was growing up?
I love to watch this guy run the football because
his nickname was Thighs.
Punishment.
Yep. And of course, Mike Ditka thought he was Little Earl, that being Ricky Williams at the time. Of course, if you know some Bucs history, the Bucs traded away their pick, their number 1 overall pick to who? The Houston Oilers. They drafted Earl Campbell. Of course, the Bucs took Jimmy Giles and had Doug Williams. They traded for Jimmy Giles and got Doug Williams with the 17.
Bucs would have won a Super Bowl. The Buccaneers would have won a Super Bowl had they had Earl Campbell.
Well,
how about this, guys? Now, you say that, but you don't have a quarterback. See, how to get a quarterback? You got Doug Williams at 17.
No, I'm just saying if they had that Earl Campbell with Doug Williams, that team never would have lost to the Rams. And what was it? Something stupid, 3-0?
9-0, and you can never win.
9-0.
You can never win with Doug Williams, and because they went with the same drafts. What happened was the Bucs had the number 1 overall pick. I believe they traded with the Oilers. They went down to 17.
No, I'm just saying if they had those picks, my God, that would just been phenomenal.
How about this one, guys?
The Culver houses couldn't even have screwed that up.
Tony Dorsett got passed on by the Bucs too.
Wow.
So there you go. There's your history for the Bucs.
I wasn't as impressed with Dorsett as everybody else is.
One more question for you guys.
Yes, go ahead.
That O-line, buddy.
This same Cowboys guy, he told me that Michael Irvin was a top 5 receiver all the time. I'm like, dude.
Who?
Put something and stop smoking whatever you're smoking with Michael Irvin.
Michael Irvin was pretty damn good, man.
No, he was, but I'm going to say this.
All
top
right.
5.
Who do you have? Then
where are you putting Randy Moss?
First of all, we all know Jerry Rice is probably the number 1 receiver on everybody's list.
Right.
Hate him or love him. But who do you have in your top 5 for receivers?
Well, it's for me, it's Rice. Man, you're pushing me right now. All right. Stand by, Curtis. Hold on a sec. Let me get back to you on this. Sun Devil Dave, stand by. We're going to finish up with Curtis and then we'll get out to you. Okay. Stand by.
Gotcha.
All right. Of course, I'm going to say Mike Evans, right? I think Mike Evans is in that conversation for me, just being biased. Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, I think is 3. 4. God, you got me right now, man. You got me right now.
You can use a tight end.
But yeah, wide receivers. Talking about wide receivers.
I'm just saying, anybody that catches the
Chris
ball, you
Carter,
can use it.
Is Chris Carter in that conversation as top 5 of all time? I
like that.
Okay. I don't think Urban is too far behind, but there's probably other receivers. I mean, there's a lot of receivers.
What about
I would have taken Chris Carter over. No, I would have taken Michael Irvin over Carter.
Okay. What about you, Harry?
I don't really have a top 5 on that. I love hearing other people's top 5s
Mm-hmm.
because you can go anywhere else, but I'd have to put.
I'm going to give you mine.
Okay, please.
I love Jerry Rice.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the guy that played?
How about Calvin Johnson? Calvin Johnson comes to mind.
Calvin Johnson. Listen, Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss. I loved Marvin Harrison.
Uh-huh. How about Owens? Owens is in there. By the way,
I love Owens, but I'm going to tell you who I would take over Owens any day of the week.
Okay, go for it.
And he is so underrated, so underappreciated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, I love Mike Evans. Everybody knows I love Mike Evans.
Sure.
I think Mike Evans needs to do it a couple more years. But the most probably underrated, underappreciated receiver, I think, in NFL history is Larry Fitzgerald.
He's on the list. I'm looking at top 10 list right now. Here's your list. You got Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Steve Largent.
Art Monk.
Art Monk was good. Don Hudson, Andre Johnson,
Steve
James
Largent.
Yep. Steve Largent.
How about Anquan Bolden? How about Henry Ellard with the Ram? Well, this is numbers now.
Yeah. Henry Ellard.
But do this for me, Harry. I mean, do this for me, Harry and Peter.
Yeah.
Who was throwing Larry Fitzgerald the ball? He had 3 years with Kurt Warner and probably 2.5 good years with Carson Palmer. Who else threw him the ball?
Was it what was his name?
Matt Leinart?
Oh, he was not good.
It was Matt Leinart.
I mean, he wasn't
Drew
good.
Stanton?
That wasn't good. Was Plummer there?
Jake Plummer was there too.
Was he there?
No, he wasn't there for Larry. He was with Denver then.
That's true. He was also almost with the Bucs too, by the way.
Yes, he was.
I liked Plummer.
I think Plummer had the best bootleg in NFL history.
How about Tim Brown? He never gets talked about with the Raiders.
Tim Brown never gets talked about.
Consistent. And by the way, he nearly got traded to Tampa. Tampa was talking to the Raiders about trading for him.
Well, John Gruden tried to bring over Tim Brown, Charlie Gardner.
Well, that was when he was washed. It was for a cup of coffee in 2004 when I was over at WTSP trying to convince the guy at the time, the sports director, John Nugent, that the Bucs were a real team with Tim Brown. He told me Tim Brown was washed up, and he was right. Tim Brown was washed up.
I mean, he had his time.
Yes.
He had his time. I mean,
by the way, Rays up 6-0 if you care about the Rays. It looks like they're going to take 2 out of 3.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I'm always going to be a Red Sox at heart. But now that the Rays are selling the team, I actually think I'm going to root for the Rays. I was at a Spanish restaurant in Newport Richey tonight, El Cerrito. They have great food. If you guys have never been there, maybe.
What do they got there? They got the burritos. They got the little burritos.
First of all, and this is probably going to be something I shouldn't say, but I'm going to say it anyway. The Spanish food is good when the menu is in Spanish.
Well, see, I couldn't order it. I know 6 words of Spanish. Como está? Muy bien. Me llamo Pedro.
They have these lovely ladies there that will definitely.
I would be saying to them, "Tu eres bien bonita." That means you're pretty. And then the other one, which you don't use, but if you want to use it, you can. Again, 6 words of Spanish. No tengo dinero. I have no money.
Just don't say these 2 words. La migra.
I won't say
that. My God, geez. Listen, I'm gonna have to take you guys one of these days.
Well, actually, I do like to go in the restaurant, and in my Spanish goes migra, for holding my cup.
I'm not gonna lie to you tonight.
I don't know why I didn't get my food. The cooks were running out the door. I didn't get it.
Tonight was my mother's birthday, and they put a sombrero on her, and they sung "Happy Birthday" to her.
Oh, that's cool.
And, dude, we had a great time, and I had a burrito that was so massive, it was probably from your wrist to your elbow and just as thick as your forearm.
Well, big as your forearm because you had to have that surgery on both forearms as you started off.
Well, here's the thing, bro. It had steak, shrimp, rice, beans, chicken, and then they drenched it in queso.
Queso.
And you're like,
nice.
This is ridiculous.
Queso, ¿qué?
This is ridiculous.
All right, so you're going to be a Rays fan now. So congratulations.
No, not a full Rays fan. I will always be a Red Sox at heart.
But I will root
for the Rays as long as they're not playing the Red Sox. I root for the Rays anyway because I diabolically hate the Yankees. The Blue Jays, I don't have a problem. The Orioles suck, and I hate the Dodgers too because they took.
Hey, brother, I just want to know the next time you call in, man, I need the stuff that you're smoking.
Curtis,
I'll tell you what,
you are smoking tonight, my friend.
Not only am I smoking, but they gave me 8 milligrams of Dilaudid tonight.
Oh God.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I am like the movie Spaceballs. I'm tripping.
You're high. Hey, you're higher than one of the rings on Saturn.
Oh man, that I'm past Saturn.
I love Curtis.
I'm probably around Uranus.
All right, Curtis. Appreciate the call. We got to get out to Sun Devil Day. We appreciate you. All right, boss.
All right, brother.
All right. The good stuff here. Let's go out to Sun Devil Dave. Chicago's own. Yeah. What do we say to start the show, my friend? What do we say there at our job every day? What do we say?
Thank you for wasting my time and goodbye forever.
There you go. Exactly. All right.
Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you okay, my friend.
Thank you for wasting my time.
I think you wasted my time and goodbye forever. That's what we say to the people on the phone when they're not there. If we said it on the phone, we probably get fired. So
and I'm just looking forward to the 2025 season for the Bears. I'm hoping Walter Payton has a great year this year for the Bears.
Yeah, you were looking for 12 wins like Roger said.
David Montgomery.
Yes.
David Montgomery's gonna have a great year for the Bears. Oh wait, he plays for the Lions.
Yeah, he plays for the Lions.
I love Curtis, man.
Yeah, I love Curtis too.
Curtis is pretty cool, man.
I love him. Hey,
I got a contact buzz just from him being on the show tonight.
I know. Secondhand smoke, buddy. What's it called? The secondhand buzz smoke. But hey,
Dave, I got a question for you. Are you a Cub fan or a Sox fan, sir?
Harry, we talk about this all the time, man.
I know. I'm getting old.
Tell him what you are.
I am a diehard Cubs fan. I
Go Cubs, go!
I still like the White Sox too. I mean,
right.
here's the situation. First of all, big props to Peter because I know I was clowning with you about doing a Chicago takeover, but you have spent, I think, probably 50% of the show talking about Chicago sports. So,
wow,
that's pretty good. Not bad.
Yeah, he did pretty good. Yeah. So, clarification: Walter Payton had 8 touchdown passes. He still leads.
That is
non QB. And I love Jerry Rice, but Jerry Rice never basically started or basically quarterbacked the team. Payton quarterbacked a game, and I think it was 1983. It was the Packers and the Bears. What happened was I think McMahon was hurt, and then the backup was hurt. Rusty Lisch was in. Remember Rusty Lisch?
Rusty Lisch. How old are you, Dave?
Rusty Lisch. I'm 55.
Bro, we all got to get together again.
Young.
Yeah, we all got to get together because this guy's Chicago. Right. Roger Shue is Chicago. You're Chicago. Right. Travis Faley is Chicago. So, we met another guy today by the name of Nate. He was Chicago. Hopefully he's watching and tuning in. So
absolutely. And the bottom line is that Rusty Lisch, I guess he fumbled the ball like 3 times in the first quarter. Dick is pissed. So he looks at Peyton. He goes, Peyton, get in there, quarterback. So Peyton quarterbacks the first half of the game. And he does throw an interception. Then what's crazy is later in the game when he's a running back, he throws a touchdown in the end zone. That's one of his 8 touchdowns. Also, Peyton punted as well.
Yes, he did.
He was an amazing receiver. Now, there wasn't a O-lineman. The first O-lineman was actually a Pro Bowler from 75. He didn't get a Pro Bowler O-lineman. It was, I think it was Thayer. Was it Thayer?
Thayer, but his first Pro Bowler, I believe it was in 1985.
Right. So from 75 to 84, he had 0 Pro Bowl. He had 0 O-lineman. Period.
10 seasons.
Period.
I know. And people take that for granted. They're like, right. And the thing was, Bob Avellini, really? I mean,
right.
That's
Bob Avellini.
Vince Evans, and, quarterbacks.
Remember Landry? That good, great. He looked like he was 80 years old. Landry.
Yes,
So look,
yes, I do.
They did an average statistics after Peyton passed away. They basically said that everything he did, he punted in one game. His punt was either average or better than all the Bears punters.
Do you remember the punter's name?
No, I'm saying Peyton actually punted in a game.
I know that, but do you remember the punter's name for about 5 years with the Bears when he was around?
Oh God, I have no clue.
Prior to Maury Buford. Prior to Buford.
I'm trying to remember. What year are we talking about here?
Yeah, 77, 8, 9.
I don't know. I just remember.
I'm trying to remember his name. That's why I'm asking. I think it was Bob Thomas.
Bob Thomas.
I'm almost positive that was his name.
Well, Peyton also was a great receiver too, and he was an amazing blocker. Remember those blocks he used to do? He used
to stone people. There was one game that came to mind, and I know we're on a Buck show here, but there was one game that comes to mind.
Bob Parsons.
Bob Parsons. That's what it was. Thank you.
Bob Parsons.
Thanks, Pete. That's good. Google saved us again. Damn it.
There you go.
No, but there was one game. It was in 1985. They were playing the Minnesota Vikings. They were down by a couple of scores, and Peyton was begging, absolutely begging Ditka, to let Jim McMahon come in the game. And Jim McMahon's on the sideline trying to get him in the whole 9 yards. Anyway, long story short, McMahon comes in. They come back. They win the football game. It was great. But the reason why I brought that up is the last quarterback that tried to bug Ditka like that, and then Ditka puts him back into the game, was actually he wasn't supposed to start. It was Jim Harbaugh. Later on, when Jim Harbaugh first came in, and Jim Harbaugh changed the play at the line of scrimmage. He threw an out pattern. It got picked for 6 the other way. And as Harbaugh's coming in, he's trying to go away from Ditka, and it showed Mike Ditka grab Harbaugh, not with one hand, 2 hands on his face mask, and he is jerking them. And you can see the spit coming out of Ditka's mouth. Probably the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen for a quarterback coming to the sideline. He never did that again.
Absolutely. Look, I love all the great Buck players. I know you talk about what Brooks and you know, Barber, or, you know, all the amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Peter got really quiet. Did you freeze, Peter?
No, I didn't.
I didn't hijack enough.
No,
so
I didn't know.
Help, Peter.
No.
Enough Bears talk. I need your help on this. So
something's wrong with your video, Pete. Can you see me okay?
Yeah, I can see you fine, man. Yeah.
Your video is kind of blurry.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi right now. It's a StreamYard issue. It's not my Wi-Fi because we've had consistent Wi-Fi all night. I think it's a StreamYard issue.
Am I blurry to you? Because I don't see myself blurry at all.
No, I'm probably blurry. I don't know what's going on right now. So
no, you look good now.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. It just goes through this
So-
stuff sometimes. Yeah.
I need your help on the Bucks depth chart for the safeties and corners. I know there's somebody said it how I forgot who it was, the realtor guy or somebody was saying
David
how
Zuzman,
they have
yes.
lack of safety depth.
Yes.
So we're looking at Winfield still. I'm looking at this chart. Winfield still questionable. Looks like it says it's still Q by his name. What's your opinions on these guys? Merriweather, Eisen, JJ Roberts, Wisdom.
Izzy.
What do you think?
Izzy and I definitely makes this team.
Okay.
He's already made the team because he could play multiple positions, not only safety but also nickel.
Right.
Mayweather, they really like him a lot. JJ Roberts, they like this guy a lot. If he can make
I
some,
like JJ Roberts too.
yeah, JJ Roberts, and then I think Shiloh Sanders. A lot of people assume that he's not going to make this team, may make it in special
Right.
teams
I
or
see him
be
there.
on the practice squad. So that's the
Right.
battle you're going to kind of look for. And then of course they got Tyke, Antoine Winfield Jr., who's not going to play in this preseason. So they have depth there. It's just not what some fans, want at the depth position.
That depth's going to be just fine, Pete.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
They
don't
really are. They're going to be just fine this year.
Yeah, I think so too.
And how about how's Walker doing? Anthony Walker. I see an O out. So he's
hurt.
out
He's been
for
hurt.
What? How long is he going to be out for?
It's a great question. We don't know. I mean, there's a knee injury, so you don't know what it is, how long it's going to be. We know that Levante David was high on him, talked about him, recruiting him from the Miami Dolphins. He hasn't gotten a chance to play or perform, so it's going to be on Savasier Dennis. It's going to be on a guy like Nick Jackson, who, if he
He's
can
going to have a really good year this year. God, I hope he stays healthy.
Yeah, I mean, Jackson has an opportunity to earn a spot because Walker Jr. is not a part of this team right now. Deion Jones, who has experience with the Atlanta Falcons, who'll have an opportunity to earn a place on this team. That's the disappointing thing when you have injuries, but that's the great thing about, once again, Jason Licht in this organization, getting players, getting depth. So if you do have an injury, you're not stuck calling people off the street like you were last year when it comes to cornerbacks and wide receivers and stuff like that. You draft very well and pick up free agents, and that's the reason why you do that.
And then for their wide receiver depth, of course, Godwin's going to be out for a bit. I see Palmer's questionable. They're going to put the Ohio State kid. He's going to be starting probably in that preseason game, right? Amika?
I think Ibuka. I think they're Emeka Ibuka. I think they're going to get an opportunity to see. No, that's okay. Everybody's getting his name wrong. It's preseason. Emeka Ibuka. Just think of Emeka Okafor, who used to play for the Magic and played for
Okafor.
Yes,
wow.
Okafor. Emeka Ibuka. Yes, right. So he'll get an opportunity. I think he'll definitely get some more snaps. He had Jalen McMillan, of course.
Right.
I don't
Shepard.
know. I don't know if Mike Evans is going to play, but Shepard. Rack Jarrett, Trey Palmer's been hurt. Cam Johnson has been hurt. Tez Johnson is the unknown at this point. If he can be healthy, we could see something out of him. The Bucs have some plans for him. That's the reason why you draft him in the 7th round. He's friends with Bucky Irving. He's explosive. I get it. He's 154 pounds, but there's an explosive nature to him. That's the reason why you want him a part of special teams. If he can stay healthy, again, it's all about availability. This goes back to what TJ Reeves said on Saturday night at the stadium. Availability right now is important. If Johnson can be available and he can make some moves, you could see some of these guys like Trey Palmer and Cam Johnson, who made the team last year, looking for either be on the practice squad or be looking for other jobs at this point, because guys are going to push. So that's the great thing to watch in this preseason and training camp, these position battles, namely a wide receiving room battle right there.
Good deal. So, we're looking forward to the Saturday at 7. Are you thinking about still doing that Riveters thing?
We'll see. We'll see if what JP's going to do. We planned on doing away games. I don't know what he has planned, but if we do, we'll go live and we'll tell you, let you know, and hopefully have you out there. Harry, Ray, everybody could come out there. Maybe we can all do a meetup and do the sports web together and hang out and have some wings.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there. And then the Bears got a Sunday night primetime game against the Bills. Coaches said that they're all, starters going to be out there wheeling and dealing. So we'll see how.
No, they're playing a whole half. I've already got that info. They're playing a whole half. Absolutely.
All right. Sun Devil Dave, we appreciate.
Real quick. Some kind of bad news. The Cubs won tonight over the Blue Jays. However, Miguel Amaya, the great catcher, came back just off the IL. He runs through first base, and I think he broke his ankle. Flew through the air and had to be carted off. So
that's horrible.
Miguel Amaya. But yeah, it was pretty awful. I looked down and he's holding his ankle, so he probably either maybe tore something or he was crying and put a towel over his head. And
it's futile anyway because no one's catching the Brewers this year.
It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah,
I predicted that when they were under 500. I went, they're still winning the division. Wait till they get healthy.
Right. And I kind of have bittersweet because I'm a Pat Murphy guy because he was a great Arizona State baseball coach and he's coaching the Brewers now.
Right.
He did Arizona State for like World Series and College World Series like 8 or 9 years in a row or something.
Nice.
But good luck with the Cubs. Go Bucs, go Bears.
Yes.
And Saturday, hopefully we could hang out. Also, if you guys thinking about I remember I talked to you about Peter, maybe we could do like a fantasy football thing. You want to put something together with all the guys here.
We have to figure. We definitely have to figure it out. Harry,
I don't do fantasy.
So we gotta get Harry to get back.
I hate fantasy. That's exactly that's the fantasy world.
He does the auto draft option and does not change his quarterback from week to week. It's great.
Yeah, you remember that, Peter?
And then
I didn't win. Here's a good story for you. I don't win for like 5 straight weeks in a row. Peter's like, you know what? I'm going to kick your ass this week. I said, am I playing you? Hold on. Let me go to let me go see who I got. I put a lineup in there and ended up beating him.
He beat me with backups and because I know players at that week producing.
Here come the excuses.
Yeah, Jameis Winston, I think in one game he had Curtis Meade in there too.
Oh yeah, Curtis Meade. He went 1 for 3 today, 2 for 4 yesterday, and 3 ribbies. I just wanted to share that with you, Pete.
All right. On that note, the Curtis Meade watch here on the Evolution. Sun Devil Dave, we appreciate
Dave, have a good one, brother.
What do we say to
end? Waste my time.
Yes.
Goodbye forever. Go Cubs. You guys take care.
All right, there you go. Exactly. Thank you for wasting my time, and goodbye forever. He is.
He's a good guy.
He is. All right, Harry, you got to get out of here. I know it's past 11.
How about you, brother?
I don't know if I'm going to.
We went long enough.
Well, I was going to do turnbuckle talk, but I don't know if anybody wants to do it. at this point. You know what? It is 11 o'clock, so maybe it is past 11.
Let's just dump it right here, brother.
All right, we'll dump it. Final thoughts here, Harry the Greek.
Can't wait for football season, brother. That's all. It's not even official yet. Couple more weeks. I think it's 3 more weeks.
Yeah.
3 more weeks.
Yes.
And just before that first week, you're going to get a lot of picks from the Greek, baby. We're going to make some money this year. Not sure we're going to have a show, but I can go ahead and give picks out and everything else.
We'll have a show. We'll definitely.
Who knows? Who knows? There might be something coming up. I don't know. Could be a surprise. Can't let the cat out of the bag yet. But yeah, I like that look that Peter just gave me. Hey,
yeah, hold on. I want to read this comment really quick. What's up, Peter Blake, Dustin Davis from Guide to Insure Policy Scout. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hysterical. Robert Englund played Freddy Krueger, but Jackie Earl Haley played the remake of Freddy Krueger. So I got you guys. Patrick Mahomes is better than Burrow, says Dustin Davis. Right there.
I thought that once, but man, that.
Good news. It's just a sprain. Bo Jackson could have been a buck. Absolutely. Mike, let's see. Rice, Evans, Harrison, Moss, and Monk.
I like it.
Very good. We'll talk about this another night. All right, my friend. I'll get you out of here on that. We'll wrap the show up. But yes, we may have something surprising here in the works.
We could. You never know. Always expect the unexpected, just like on Big Brother.
Good stuff. Harry the Greek, appreciate the time, my friend, here on a Happy Hump Day edition. Love you, brother.
Love you too, man. You have a good one. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Curtis Mead forever. Boom. There it is right there. The Curtis Mead watch. I had to give it. I love it. He's doing great for the White Sox. Didn't do so much for the Tampa Bay Rays. Thanks a lot to all the guests of the night. Of course, Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, my co-host, my brother, and Arms. We appreciate you. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy shot you out too, my friend. I know you're watching. Thank you very much. Leo Haggerty right there of Amped Up Sports, the legend. Mike Simzak of Amped Up Sports. And, of course, the media icon, Mr. TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network. Only a couple days away from Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I get it. It's preseason football, but it's still football. Bucs versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Keep it right here. We'll see. We got a pregame show. You know, wherever it is, we're going to have a postgame show on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Do 3 things. We'll keep it down for the roommates. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay Sports Fan, it's your time. We'll see you next time on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. As we always say here, go Bucs.